The British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training in a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim, no matter what your kind of fitness or sport and background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.
The buzz is just unbelievable just now. It's back in my hometown in Troon, everybody's talking about it, and just hopefully I can be part of that Scotland team, and if I am, it will be a memory I'll never forget.
Since joining Scottish Gymnastics, to compete at the Commonwealth Games, it is going to be my first Commonwealth Games, and no better place to do it than in our home country.
Commonwealth Games are really the only time you get to represent like Scotland on its own, and yeah, it's really special. It's like your own little family really when you're on the team. Go Scotland!
Do you know what? I don't think there'll be anything to beat it. You know, I competed at the London Olympics and that was really special, but Glasgow I think will just be something else. Go Scotland!
It's very important to have the backing of the community, the country and that. I'd like folk to get behind you and enjoy what you're doing and appreciate what you do, and that's what hard work's for. Go Team Scotland!
I think it's really important that people back Team Scotland. I think it's a fantastic opportunity for everyone to come together and support the team.
There's obviously going to be a great buzz around the city, and we're really looking forward to having these spectators come out and see netball. Netball's not one of the most profile sports that we've got here, so we're really looking forward to seeing how we can really engage with the spectators and show what netball's all about. Go Scotland!
Oh, the support will be huge. If everyone turns up, it's going to be a great atmosphere. There's nothing better than playing on a badminton court with the whole crowd screaming behind you. It's a really great feeling, and I really hope to experience it.
Being from Glasgow myself, nothing more that you want to do in your career. Homegrown, in your city, all your friends, family can all come and watch. There's nothing really more you want. Go Scotland!
Being in judo, it's an individual sport, but when you're in that fight and if you're down the score, if you just need that extra lift. With Glasgow 2014 coming up and the massive Scottish team that we're going to have in Glasgow, it feels like a family. Go Scotland!
It's a huge honour and it's a pinnacle of anyone's career. I was fortunate enough to play back in Melbourne a few years ago now, where the whole experience was incredible. I'm sure that Glasgow can look to emulate that.
The atmosphere in Delhi was great, even when we're halfway across the world. So to imagine what it's going to be like in Glasgow when we're in front of a home crowd, it's going to be twice as good. Go Scotland!
This will be my first games and it'll be a home game, so for me it's, as much as it's a cliche, it will be a dream come true, and just to have that support and to have my family and friends support me at home games, it means everything to me. Go Scotland!
Good evening from the International Swimming Centre at Tollcross in Glasgow, and a warm welcome to QuipuTV's live coverage of the final session of the Scottish Gas 2013 National Swimming Championships. So we brought you 3 days and 2 sessions today of action from these championships, top class swimming featuring the very best of Scotland's talents. I'm Duncan McKinnell and I'll be taking you through the action, and I'll be assisted by Ali Wyke once again this afternoon. Ali, the performance director at Scottish Swimming. So good evening, Ali.
Evening, Duncan.
So we've got the final session this evening Are we looking for anything special to send us off on our way happy?
Well, the order of the day has been all about racing and competition, so I'm hoping that we'll get some more close races again this evening. I think for some of the younger ones, there's another great opportunity to step up, challenge the senior swimmers and get some lifetime best under their belt and readiness for the rest of the summer.
So we'll hear more from Ali as we go through this evening's transmission. And we also like to hear from you. So give us a tweet on hashtag SGN13Live. That's hashtag SGN13LIVE. And if we like your tweet, or if we are tickled pink by it, I'm sure we'll get a mention. Also, we're running this photographic competition, so send your photos in to hashtag SGN13Pics, 13PIX, to enter, and the 10 best pictures will be put onto Facebook, and you can vote for your favourite, and there will be some great prizes to be won there. Coverage of this event is brought to you by Scottish Swimming and Scottish Gas, and we're grateful to Scottish Gas and all the commercial partners for their continued support of Scottish Swimming, including Glasgow Life, of course, who operate this terrific facility, newly refurbished here in the East End of Glasgow. So it's going to be a pretty good evening swimming, I think. We've got 100 butterfly for all the men, a battle you would think between Sharanic, Brodie, Rivers. 100 freestyle for women. Who's your fancy on that one? Pretty close one, I think.
Indeed, I think with Katie Avramova in there from Ealing. But look out for Rachel Masson, who's just a magnificent drop over the meet. Swam 57 low yesterday in the opening leg of the relay, and she's replicated that again in the heats this morning. So she's looking good. It'll be interesting to see whether she can drop again under the pressure and gaze of the supporters here at the Tollcross International Swimming Centre.
And if you are watching us from Bulgaria, a big hello to you. We have had followers from across the globe, including Bulgaria, Spain, Oman, USA, and a number of other places. It's rumoured that there's one from Antarctica, but not sure about that one. We then move on to the men's 200 freestyle. So Robbie Rennick pulled out of this one, so Milne and Walsh, you would think?
Yep, I definitely think those two boys will be challenging each other in that event. I think it'll be quite a close tussle, but probably Walsh looking to be the favourites. But don't discount Jack Scott, of course. A 148 low 200 freestyler, been to the World Championships and narrowly missed out on the Olympics last year. So I do think you're going to have a bit of a tussle in the middle of the pool.
Yes, and all three of them, I guess, will be looking to peak in 2 weeks' time for the trials, or maybe fancying their chances for a go at the World Championships team.
I think certainly that will be the aim for those guys, and that's exactly where they should be aiming.
After that, we have the women's 200 breaststroke. Now, I was a little bit dismissive of Catherine Johnson, totally improperly there, because she then went and blitzed it with a 2:34 as the fastest qualifier for this one. No Hannah Miley in this one. She was originally entered, but Kerry Bucket and Catherine Johnson, good tussle. Emily Jones maybe as well. Rachel O'Donnell swam well this morning.
Indeed, I think certainly the likelihood is it'll be between Kerry Buchan and Catherine Johnston, but Catherine certainly swimming exceptionally well. 31.7 or so, 31.6 yesterday in the 50 breaststroke, 68.5 in the 100 breaststroke prior to that, and is in excellent form. So she seems to get quicker and quicker on the 200 breaststroke, and I certainly think it'll be a close race in this event.
So I'm just told that there's going to be a little bit of delay to the start of proceedings here, so we'll just continue to talk you through the programme. The men's 50 backstroke will be up next. Now, Rory Lamont, 26.28 in the heats this morning. That was fast.
It was very fast, actually. He's got an excellent start, Rory. Rory coached by Jimmy Orr. And I think he will be looking at Craig McNally's Scottish record at 25.9 or so. Whether or not he can do that under the pressure of the final, and that's another question, but he's certainly not a million miles away, only 0.25 away really from that record.
McGovern, McGuckin, McNally. So the record holder himself is in that final.
Indeed. But I think Rory was a wee bit ahead. But again, it's just about being able to deliver that performance within the context of a final. So I guess that McGovern, McNally and McGuckin will fancy their chances of putting him under that pressure.
So expect in that sprint that they will finish pretty much in a line there, the leading contenders. Sean Harkin, Lucy Hope, Raquel Matos in the 50 butterfly.
Yeah, I think it's probably Sean Harkin will be the favourite on this one, though Raquel Matos is looking absolutely fantastic at the moment. Sean, a 27.2 best. The Scottish record stands at 27.05, and I think that was Alison Shepherd back in 2001. I think it's the oldest record in the book. So it would be absolutely fabulous if we could see that one be beaten.
So Alison, if you're watching, then keep an eye on that one later on, see if your record survives for another time. Following that, we've got the men's 400 IM.
Yep, I think again Fabian Whitbread, he's in really good form at the moment, but I think Ross Muir probably looked the easiest in the heats. He really cruised on the freestyle, and he is just starting to pick up and looking like a return to form. So I would expect him to be leading the way, but Fabian's in good form, and don't discount Duncan Scott either. He loves to race, and he's a super kid that's got a lot of potential.
Yep. Then we've got the women's 1500 freestyle, the final heat of that. We've had a few heats already. Mari High, the fastest so far, 17:58.75 for the Ren 16-year-old. You would expect these swimmers to be faster than that tonight.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt that will be the case. But I think it will be a good tussle between Thornton, Campbell and Hattersley. To be frank, probably Thornton is going to be the favourite, and now we're going to be moving on to the first event.
Yep, so we're ready to go now with the men's multi-classification 100 butterfly. So we've got 6 swimmers here, and they're coming to the blocks now, so our swimming just about to get underway. In fact, it looks like, yes, we have 6 swimmers, so we are starting in lane 2 with Highlands swim team's Craig McLean. In lane 3, Carnegie's Stefan Hoggan. In lane 4 for East Lothian, James Clegg. In lane 5 from Dumfries, Kieran Jardine. In lane 6 from North Ayrshire, Fraser Kane. And in lane 7 from Fife Performance, Oliver Carter. So a chance to see Paralympic medalist James Clegg in the event where he won his bronze medal. So Clegg a 1:02 this morning. Expect him to be faster than that this evening, I would think. So you won't have any trouble telling James Clegg in that bright yellow East Lothian cap, and he goes in lane 4 and straight away into the lead. Of course, as a multi-classification event, we will have to wait to convert the times into points before we know the 1, 2, 3, but James Clegg is leading the way here. An S12 partially sighted swimmer. We've got a couple of S14s, an S10, S13 and an S9. Stefan Hoggan with the lowest classification. At the turn then, it is Clegg 29.09.
And James really looking long on his stroke, and I think he'll be working on the tactics of this race in preparation for the World Championships. I'm not really expecting him to really break any records today, but certainly be looking at how he's swimming the race and seeing how he can improve it. But his stroke's still looking good in the last 5.
Looked very relaxed there, very easy, 1:01.49, so takes over a second off his heat time from this morning. Second touching home is Kieran Jardine. Kieran's had a strong competition. The S14 swimmer, 105.79 for him. Third place, Stefan Hogan, 107.11. The S9. Fourth, Fraser Kane, 110.32. Fifth, and the 1-2-3 there, James Clegg, 101.49. Kieran Judd in second, 105.79. Stefan Hogan third, 107.11. Fraser Kane there, 110.32. A new Scottish record there for Fraser. So good swim from him in the S13 category. Congratulations. So watch out for him when we get to the points. So good swim from him to get us going.
I think James Clegg was very impressive there. He looked as though he'd been swimming that race a set number of strokes. I think that was why possibly it looked as though he was swimming it fairly relaxed. But being partially blind, I'm sure that's quite an important part of his preparation anyways, knowing exactly how many strokes it is so that he knows where the walls are going to be. But it just looked as though he was trying to lengthen that out a bit.
So we move straight on now to the final of the men's able-bodied 100 metres butterfly, and they come on to the blocks area. And we will start to introduce them now then. So here we go, and in lane 0 we have Felix Gifford, City of Aberdeen. In lane 1, Craig Bowman of Carnegie. In lane 2, Daniel Scott from City of Glasgow. In lane 3, Sean Campsey of Warrender. In lane 4, Mark Sharanek of Carnegie. In lane 5, Eamon Rivers of Perth City. In lane 6, Cameron Brodie, University of Stirling. In lane 7, we have Ewan DeMar, City of Aberdeen. In lane 8, Duncan Scott from First. And in lane 9, Bartek Karpish from Bristol. So there the 10 swimmers. The heat times 56.0 up to 58.5. Fastest this morning, Mark Sharanek looking for gold medal number 2. 200 IM gold medalist last night. So he started off well last night, looked as though the same tonight. And they're away. So what are we expecting here? Sharanek to be pushed hard, or?
I actually think it's going to be pretty close. I think it may well come to the turn, and who comes off and shows the best skills underwater that actually wins this race. It looks like Brodie taking out real fast. He's round the wall quick. And that's Rivers, though, at 25.66, yep, taking it out.
So Eamon Rivers is certainly giving it a good go, but this is very, very tight indeed. There are about 5 swimmers in a line here. Rivers in the white cap in lane 5, and next to him Sharanek, the Warrender swimmer Campsey. There's Brodie as well in the mix, but it looked like his Sharanek started to come through. His teammate Craig Bowman going well in lane 1, but it's Sharanek who takes his gold number 2, 55.35. He takes it. Second place was Brodie with a late surge there, and Rivers just a touch behind him. So the 1-2-3, Mark Sharanek first, 55.35. Cameron Brodie second, 55.81. Just 300s behind him. Bronze medal goes to Eamon Rivers in 55.84.
And I'm sure that everybody noticed as well that Craig Bowman in there at 55.9. I think that's the first time he's just dropped under 56. So that was a really good effort from him. Nicely paced effort.
Duncan Scott there, 57.24. He'll pick up the junior title. We'll see that in the presentations after this B final. In this B final, the times 58.7 up to 1:00.03. So they line up there. And we'll introduce them once they're underway. So there you go. Edward Gray, City of Glasgow in 0. Stephen Lamb, North Lanarkshire in 1. Ryan Brown of Best in 2. Anthony Evitts, Bolton Metro in 3. Callum North of Highland in 4. Ian Porteous, City of Glasgow in 5. Mike Thompson of East Lothian in 6. Alistair Miley of Geary in 7. Craig Watson of Fife in 8. James Flanagan of Bristol in 9. Another close one at the turn. Looking for the touch there. Mike Thompson, 27.11, just 100th in it between him and Porteous beside him. Yellow cap once again, same as James Clegg earlier. East Lothian, a member, but coming down the second length, and this one is really very tight to call. Evitts in 3 is certainly up there. Lane 5 starting to come through. Porteous of City of Glasgow. I think Porteous is going to get this one. It's close, but Porteous comes from the crowd to take it. 58.18 for him, 6/10 inside his heat time. And we'll go to the summary then. Ian Porteous, 58.18 is the winner. Callum North, second, 58.69. And the halfway leader, Mike Thompson, takes third, 58.73. So we will be heading to presentations now. We have both the able-bodied presentation and the multi-classification presentation. They're just getting themselves organised for this. And ready to make these presentations. Looking very smart in the purple top is former East District President Colin Kennedy. The joke with Colin always is that you have to get him a step ladder to get to these big boys when they're on the top of the podium. Let's see whether he can manage without one this evening.
Colin, a member of the Jury of Appeal as well, I think, for this meet.
Yep. And of course they had a bit of work to do yesterday with that disqualification that was then rescinded with Andrea Strachan yesterday. And Andrea, of course, going on to pick up a medal. So Colin justifying his presence this weekend, and a little bit more work for him here to present the medals. And first to receive a medal this evening is the Perth City swimmer, Eamon Rivers. Silver medalist in the green of the University of Stirling is Cameron Brodie. And the Scottish Gas national champion, picking up championship medal number 2, Carnegie's Mark Shranik. And the junior champion, he also picked up the junior medal in the 200 IM, Duncan Scott from First. So that's the first of our 2 presentations here. We follow that up with the multi-disability one. So they're coming up. Here they come. And you can there see the 1, 2, 3. It's a giveaway as you look at the podium. So the bronze medalist, Carnegie swimmer Stefan Hoggan. Stefan in the S9 category. silver medalist Dumfries's Kieran Jardine. S14 swimmer, learning disability. And he wore a bright yellow cap and keeping that going with his shirt. It's our Paralympic bronze medalist, picks up gold here. East Lothian's James Clegg in the S12 category. So good swims from both the multi-classification and the able-bodied swimmers in the men's 100 butterfly. We have another multi-classification event coming up now with the women's 100 freestyle. 3 swimmers will be involved in this.
And that was an excellent set of races there to open up the finals session. The top 3 in the 100 fly at 55 points. I think maybe they would have been looking to go a little bit quicker, just dropping under the 55 into the 54s in preparation for British Champs in a couple of weeks, but nonetheless, a very exciting race.
So here come the 3 swimmers in the women's multi-classification 100 meters freestyle. Swimming in lane 3, representing Stirling, is Hope Gordon. In lane 4, representing Perth City, Reagan Doig. And in lane 5, representing Motherwell, Amy McFarlane. So Hope just making her way from her wheelchair to the blocks. This morning she started in the water, and I think she's likely to do the same here. Hope in the S9 category. Reagan S14, as is Amy. So off we go. Certainly, I think the hot favourite here, both in terms of first home and probably overall points as well, will be Reagan Doig. Perth City youngster, 15-year-old. So can we hope for good things going forward in disability swimming from Reagan?
Well, I think so. I'm hoping so. I think, as with any athlete out there, it really boils down to the levels of training and commitment they're putting in. So I know that Reagan can be very committed, and I think it's the consistency that will be required to keep that improvement going. Anne Dixon, very, very supportive of her within her club, as is Paul Wilson, the disability manager. So there's a lot of support round about her, and we do know that she loves to race, so there's a lot of possibilities for her, but ultimately it's down to that level of work that she's putting in.
And Reagan is well clear here. It's pretty close for second, but Reagan Doig then coming in. She swam a 1:08.40 earlier on, knocks 4/10 off that, 1:08.01. So she comes in first. It is Hope Gordon who takes second, 1:16.33, a couple of seconds improvement on her heat time. And the 1, 2, 3 for you there, confirming Reagan Doig first, Hope Gordon second, and Amy McFarlane taking third. 1:18.26 Amy's time. She'll probably be a little disappointed with that. The other two bringing their times down from the heats, but Amy just a second and a half or so off her heat time this morning. So we move on now to the able-bodied women's 100 freestyle. Just need a little moment or two for these athletes to make their way out of the pool.
And just while we're waiting for that to happen, a couple of tweets there. One from Andrew Mayer saying he's gutted that he can't actually be with us today, but really enjoying the coverage. Another one from our pal Ewan McCameron, who's been in his garden watching it on his iPad, which is very good. I'm glad he's enjoying the coverage.
So thanks to all them. But we move on now to the women's 100 freestyle to bring the finalists on. Girl in lane the Mulgai and Best End girl there. So in lane 0. So with lane 0, we have the newborn swimmer Laura Dawson. In 1 is Edinburgh University's Hayley Monteith. 2 is Rachel O'Donnell of Carnegie. 3, Katie Avramova of Ealing. In lane 4, it is Rachel Masson of South Aberdeenshire. 5 is Lucy Hope from Best. 6, Sian Morgan of Edinburgh University. 7, Kirsty Simpson, Dundee City Aquatics. In lane 8 is Eloise Barber of University of Stirling. And in lane 9, we have a late replacement and promoted into the A final, Megan Donnelly of Mulgai and Bearsden. So good opportunity for Megan to swim at the highest level here. She looked very serious coming across to her block, so hopefully excited of her chance to compete in the A final. From over Masson, Hope. So 57.28 Rachel Masson's time, the fastest from the heats this morning, and she looked pretty strong this morning.
Yes, she did, and it's all about whether the pressure of the final will get to her or not, but I have to say that she got off the block nicely, and she seems to be leading out in the first 35 metres as she comes into the turn.
Yep, so at the turn, 27.23. In fact, it's Eloise Barber in lane 8 who just gets the touch there. Masson second, 27.69, and Simpson third. So this is a very open race now. It does look like Masson is coming through a little bit in lane 4. There's plenty of swimmers after her. Avramova in lane 3 is just maybe half a metre behind her. And keep an eye on lane 8, Barber, but I think she's just off the pace at the moment. It is going to be Masson taking a first gold for her, 57.25. So 300ths inside her heat time this morning. Second place, Avramova, 57.40. And Lucy Hope taking third in 57.70. And Barber, the half-time leader, has to be satisfied with 4th place, or not satisfied as the case may be. So, top 3. Rachel Masson, 57.25. Second, Katie Avramova, 57.40. And third, Lucy Hope in 57.70.
So in terms of the race there, an excellent victory for Rachel Masson. I think that will give her a massive confidence boost going forward. And fantastic to see the 17-year-old coming through and taking that victory. Really, really well deserved. But again, it's just those skills coming into the finish. A couple of breaths in the last 5, not quite finishing on the wall. Probably an opportunity to drop under the 57 and into the 56 marker. But nonetheless, an excellent effort from Rachel Masson.
Yep, so Gary Patterson in the South Aberdeenshire programme will be pleased about that. And because of the promotion of Megan Donnelly, we've got certainly one empty lane, the lane she would have had in this P final, and that's sitting there unoccupied. So we're underway, and we've got Caitlin Tootle of City of Aberdeen in 0, Andrea Strachan, Edinburgh University in 1, Katie Stark of Warrender in 2, Kirsten McKinley, City of Glasgow in 3, Megan Donnelly of Mulgai and Bearsden in 4, Lauren Averill, Mulgai and Bearsden in 5, Samantha Caulfield, Carnegie in 6, Wilkie of Edinburgh University in 7, Sharples of East Lothian in 8, and Nicola Lamb, 5 performance in 9. So I think I read out Megan Donnelly's name there, but of course she's not there. She's already swum.
That's a real positive start from Jess Wilkie in lane 7, 28.11, and she's taken the race by the scruff of the neck. And she seems to be hanging on in there with Samantha Caulfield just on her inside.
Yep, so coming into the final 15, it's Wilkie just about with her, but in lane 3, it's Kirsten McKinley. She's right up there as well, but I think Wilkie will hold on to take this. It is Wilkie who takes it, 58.20 for her. Only a second slower than the winning time in the A final, so that feels like a good swim there. And the summary there, Jessica Wilkie, 58.20. She's pretty happy with that. She put a thumbs up to her team there, and McKinley second, 58.79. Lauren Averill in third place, just by 300ths over Andrea Strachan, 59.11 for Lauren. So that was the B final of two very tight 100 freestyle races there.
Absolutely, and good to see the Jess there really attacking the swim from the start, trying to be really fully committed to it and actually wanting to be up there to take the victory.
Yeah, plus part of that record-breaking Edinburgh University relay yesterday in the 4x100 free. So having a pretty good time of it this weekend. As we move to the medal presentations, we have Kevin Black of British Gas well, no, in fact we don't. We've got, looks like Helen Murray, the former Scottish swimming president, making this presentation. And the bronze medal goes to Best Lucy Hope. Silver medalist to Ealing's Katie Avramova. So she's been a pretty regular visitor to the podium over the 4 days. Great to have Katie up here. She's come up a few times to Glasgow, and it's lovely to have her back here in this refurbished pool. And Rachel Masson of South Aberdeenshire, the Scottish Gas national champion. So congratulations to Rachel, her first medal. And Lucy Hope gets a junior medal, and that is, I think, number 4 in terms of junior medal for Lucy. So doing it over a number of strokes in freestyle and backstroke, and I think we may just see her in the 50 fly later on.
Later on, that's right.
So the disability ones now. So just 2 medals to be presented here, with only 3 swimmers competing. And the silver medalist is Motherwell's Amy McFarlane, 517 points for her. Just 5 points ahead of Hope Gordonstown, 512 for Hope Gordon. But the gold medalist, another one for Reagan Doig, 787. And look at her, how happy she is whenever she gets the medal. No kiss from David Carey this time. I'm sure she'll be disappointed about that,
Yeah,
but
she probably
never
didn't.
mind. That was what happened to her a couple of days ago.
Probably didn't quite fancy one from Helen Murray.
No, but hope Helen doesn't watch this back, otherwise
We're all in trouble.
Mr. White. Yep. No, you're in trouble. I had nothing to do with that comment whatsoever. So I think it's time to move on. Let's move on quickly. We're on to the men's 200 freestyle, the A final here. We talked a bit about this. Mill, Walsh, Scott, maybe the main players in this one. And they're about to come to the blocks, being introduced to the audience here at the Tollcross International Swimming Centre, and making their way down the end of the pool, led on by City of Aberdeen Stuart McIntosh. More about him later. And in lane 0, representing South Lanarkshire, is Angus Barr. In lane 1 from Derwent side, Adam Hollows. In lane 2 from Edinburgh University, Cameron Smith. In lane 3 from Perth City, Stephen Milne. In lane 4 from University of Stirling, Joshua Walsh. In lane 5 from University of Stirling, Jack Scott. In lane 6 from Edinburgh University, Matthew Parks. In lane 7 from Carnegie, Mark Sharanek. In lane 8 from Aberdeen, Suleiman Butt. And in lane 9, City of Aberdeen, Stuart McIntosh. So 1:53.25, Joshua Walsh was the fastest in this morning's heats. Jack Scott 1:53.90, Stephen Milne 1:54.53, Matthew Parks 1:54.61. So those three within a second and a bit of each other this morning. So a whoosh from the other athletes from the side of the pool as they get going, and a good start in lane 5. Jack Scott immediately getting his nose in front as they came out of the dive.
And Jack was out in 53 point this morning, so it'll be interesting to see if he replicates that and then tries to build from that pace. He certainly looked quite relaxed on that first 50.
25.74 for him, 2/10 up on Walsh with Parks in third, 25.74.
I'd expect Josh Walsh to be strong in the second half of the race. That's his normal tactic. And if he's there or thereabouts at 100, then I think it's going to be very, very tight when it comes to the close of play.
So two blue caps of University of Stirling swimmers, Scott and Walsh. So 100 separating them. Third Parks, fourth Milne. These four have the advantage on the others, but it's the two from Stirling in the centre lanes, side by side, coming down length 3. Now at this stage, what are you thinking about? What are you wanting to do?
Well, I think Josh Walsh, just as though he's putting the foot down, and he seems to be getting a level times, but Stephen Milne just slightly off the pace here.
Yep, so at the turn, it is Walsh by, what's that, 3/10. 121.95 against Scott's 122.32, and it's looking like Walsh has put on the burners, and a late charge from Milne now. He's trying to get back at Jack Scott, but it's looking good for Josh Walsh here. He's in good form here. He was the bronze medalist in the 400 free, but he's going to go 2 better here. Joshua Walsh then, he takes it 149.85.
And
it's Jack Scott ticking silver, 150.45, and Milne third, 151.50.
And Duncan, that's excellent swimming all round there. I think 149.8 from Josh, and looking super strong towards the back end of the race. But I think Jack Scott will be very pleased with that performance. Also at 150.4, a couple of weeks out from the British Championships, I think he'll be delighted with that.
The summary was Walsh, Scott and Milne, the 1, 2, 3. As we move to the B final, the start list up there is up for you. So those are the swimmers waiting to go, as the swimmers slightly slowed in clearing the pool. They obviously feel that they deserve a wee rest after their efforts there.
I think we should make a mention for Stephen Milne there, a lifetime best of 151.5. And for a guy that swims 1500, 400, that 200 is a pretty tasty effort. And that again, for him going forward to the World Championship trials, I think that'll give him super confidence that he can go and compete against some of the best swimmers in the country.
Yep, he's just about up there now with the best in Scotland. Of course, we didn't see Robbie Rennick, probably our number 1 200 freestyler in that one, but still a very solid field and a good company for Stephen Milne to be in. So the B final goes underway then. We have Joe Steele of South Aberdeenshire in 0, Ian Portier, City of Glasgow in 1, Ewan Murgatroyd, Dumfries in 2, Craig McLean of Carnegie in 3, Robert Bryce of Geary in 4, Sean Campsey of Warrender in 5, Callum Baxter of North Lanarkshire in 6, Felix Gifford, City of Aberdeen in 7, Callum McGregor, City of Glasgow in 8, Dale Wellstead of Warrender in 9.
And probably as expected, Sean Campsey taking up the pace. First 50 turning in 26.7. And beside him, Robert Bryce, who qualified for this final in this afternoon's heats. So an excellent performance there, but it's Campsey by a good body length from Callum McGregor down here in lane 8.
So Campsey has certainly taken it out hard. You think of him mainly as a fly swimmer, but is pushing out this 200 freestyle pretty hard. Is this a surprise to you, Ali?
Not really. I think he works pretty hard in training, and he's not too shabby on the old freestyle either. So I think it's really just about how many races he's swimming in a day, and he's certainly able to recover from his fly swim just a matter of about 15 minutes ago.
Yep, and he's looking in pretty good shape here at the 150 mark, 125.29. The second place is Callum McGregor of City of Glasgow in lane 8, and third, Robert Bryce. So he's starting to move up now, the swimmer who came in from this afternoon's heat, and he's putting in a late push in lane 4, but it is the Warrender swimmer, Sean Campsey. He's still got about 1.5 meters advantage. Bryce is doing his best to try and close that down, but Campsey holds him at bay. So Campsey takes it, 155.32 for him. 3.5 second reduction in his time compared with this morning. So nice progression there. Bryce is second. Well, let's just check on that, because I don't see Campsey on that result screen. It says second for Bryce, so we'll assume that 155.32 was good for Campsey. 156.80 for Bryce, and 157.71 Callum McGregor third. That's a little strange, that screen, but I'm sure all will be explained in due course. There's no DQ up there, so you have to assume that Campsey is up there at the top. 155.32.
And another improvement there by Robert Bryce. 156.80. Couple of seconds, or a second and a half certainly down on this morning's effort, and Callum McGregor at 157. Also, I think that's it's probably right on his personal best. Callum from Shetland, but also training in Glasgow.
So some strong swims in both those finals, and we will be going to the presentation for this one. The men's 200 freestyle. Looks like the athletes are ready. The presenter is ready, and this is Pat Hennihan, who is the backer rising star backer for Jack Scott. So he gets to meet his protege and give him a medal.
And the investment that Pat makes is extremely appreciated by Jack as well. It's an excellent project, Back a Rising Star, and if there's anybody out there that wants to back swimmers across the country or in their particular area, then they should of course get on the Scottish Swimming website and have a look at the Back a Rising Star profiles that are there. There's many swimmers out there that require additional support to allow them to train and compete across the country and abroad as well.
And there is a well-known commercial phrase used by a certain supermarket, every little helps, and so I'm sure that's the case for these athletes. So I think we're just having a wee pause. There's just some sort of delay going on, not quite sure what it is, but hopefully we'll be ready to go very soon with this presentation. So Walsh from the University of Stirling, the 22-year-old. Jack Scott, also 22-year-old. So approaching their prime in these events, maybe mid-20s would be reckoned to be their peak time.
Well, probably, but I think swimmers go on and on these days. You know, the average age of people swimming in the sport at the highest level just seems to creep up. So yeah, mid-20s is is a good age to be, but I think it really depends on your enjoyment of the sport and how hard you're willing to train and the effort you're willing to put in. Being a high level performance athlete, it's not easy. You've really got to have that attention to detail. I mean, you're doing that day in, day out. It's a pretty tough thing to do.
Okay. There will be an additional trophy handed out at this end of this presentation as well. That's the Eileen Adams Trophy. That's a sort of combination special trophy to commemorate the work of Eileen Adams in the Scottish swimming scene. Coach in the Aberdeen area, and before that in Glasgow. And that goes to the swimmer with the highest number of points if you add together the 200 and the 400 freestyle. So we'll find out where that's won in a moment. Of course, Eileen Adams coach in earlier days for both Robbie Rennick and David Carey, and sadly missed in Scottish swimming circles. But we are now ready for the presentation, and the athletes come to the podium. And Pat Henican getting ready to present the medals. And the bronze medal goes to Perth City's Stephen Milne. Silver medal, Jack Scott, University of Stirling. So Jack, of course, is the athlete backed by Pat. So silver medal there in a pretty respectable time. And the gold medalist, Scottish Gas national champion, is Joshua Walsh, also at the University of Stirling. 1:49.85. The junior champion is Suleiman Butt from Aberdeen. Not for the first time, particularly in this freestyle. Already picked up junior medals, the 50 and the 100 freestyle, along with a couple of backstroke ones as well. And the Eileen Adams Trophy there being handed to Joshua Walsh by 1 point from Stephen Milne. So Joshua Walsh, bronze in the 400 freestyle, gold in the 200. Stephen, bronze in the 200 and silver in the 400. So very tight contest in that particular award between the two of them. But Joshua Walsh just winning out. So congratulations to him. And the Scottish champion, Jack Scott, because Joshua Walsh not a Scot, so Jack picks up a gold medal as the top Scot in the competition. So we go to women's breaststroke next. So it looks like there was a bit of medal confusion there, but I'm sure they'll sort it out between them. So the girls are lined up at the side of the pool, ready to come to the blocks, and they will make their way any moment now. 200 breaststroke. 2:34.55, Catherine Johnson through to the youngster, 14-year-old Lauren Sutherland of Midlothian. So exciting experience for her, national senior final. But going through the field, another youngster in lane 0, and that is Warrender's Emma Chittleborough. In lane 1, from Swansea University, Alice Tennant. In lane 2, from Edinburgh University, Hayley Monteith. In lane 3, from Carnegie, Rachel O'Donnell. In lane 4, from Edinburgh University, Catherine Johnson. In lane 5, from University of Stirling, Kerry Buchan. In lane 6, from Aberdeen, Emily Jones. In lane 7, from Heart of Midlothian, Hannah Souter. In lane 8 from Geary, Orla Adams. And in lane 9, Midlothian's Lauren Sutherland. So ready to go then. Johnson, Buchan, Jones, O'Donnell, Monteith maybe. She's been in good form recently. But realistically, you would think this will be a Johnson against Buchan contest.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think we'd expect Catherine Johnston to go out quite quickly on the first 100. Probably Buchan just to sit slightly off the pace and then try and move up onto the front on the third 50. So we'll see how that develops.
So Catherine Johnson already champion at 50 breaststroke and 100 breaststroke, so looking for the hat trick here, and goes through the 50 at 32.47, and her advantage is about 1.3, 1.4 on Buchan, with Emily Jones in third place. But well, Johnson has gone out pretty hard here and she's opened up a healthy advantage. I guess this is how you'd expect her to race it.
I think so, and I think about it's just trying to eke out a little bit more from each stroke to make sure it's as being as efficient as possible. But I expect Buchan to come back strong on the third 50. And Catherine just looks as though it's a wee bit tired at that 100 point.
1:10.24 then, 1:11.88, 1.6 is the gap now between them, and that translates to just over a body length. Jones in third, O'Donnell in fourth, but they're a fair bit back, and as you predicted, Ali, Buchan is now starting to close the gap on Johnson, and this is where it's going to get tough for Catherine Johnson as she starts to feel the pressure coming on.
Yep, Buchan looking really strong on this third 50, and I think she's probably just gone into the lead, but her stroke is looking nice and long here.
So at the final turn then, and it is Buchan who has now got the advantage by 15 hundredths, 1:50.29 for her. Has Catherine Johnson got anything left to come back at her down the final stretch? It's still the two of them.
Well, I think Catherine will really fight to stay in contact, but I think Buchan's pulling away here. The stroke's still intact, it's still long. She's driving with the legs there and getting into that streamlined position at the front, but she's pulling away from Catherine.
This is impressive swimming from Kerry Buchan and really beautifully managed. She didn't panic when Johnson went out fast, and in the end she is a clear winner and comes in 2:29.67. Johnson second, 2:33.18, and O'Donnell goes ahead of Jones to take third, 2:34.73 for her. So a good race that, with Catherine Johnson, who looks exhausted there in lane 4, puffing and blowing away with the cap off. But Buchan then 2:29.67 takes the honours there. Johnson 2:33.18, and Rachel O'Donnell third there, 2:34.73.
Well, it's no wonder that Catherine's looking a bit exhausted, having gone out 1:10 there, and probably just rating a little bit too high as well for that opening 100. But Kerry Buchan looked as though she was just a little bit frustrated with that swim at the end. I think turning in 150 at 150, there was an opportunity for her to drop under 2:29, and it's probably an opportunity missed for her in terms of the time. But in the way that she executed the swim, she swam the first 100 probably right bang on, and the third 50 just didn't manage to quite hold the stroke down the last 25, just started to shorten up a little bit, needed to keep it a little bit longer, keep focused on that stroke.
So the whistle going for the B final. We have the swimmers up on the screen for you. We'll introduce them after they go in. So they're away with Kimberly Mackay of Midlothian in 0, Sophia Green of Elgin in 1, Chanel Snedden of First in 2, Heather Lawson of Swim Trafford in 3, Shannon McClelland of Dumfries in 4, Shona Mackey of West Lothian in 5, Erin Robertson of South Ayrshire in 6, Robin Patrick of South Lanarkshire in 7, Samantha Caulfield of Carnegie in 8, and Lauren Doughty, Dundee City Aquatics in 9.
And Shannon McClelland in lane 4. I think she'll probably want to work the second half of the race a little bit harder. And it's Samantha Caulfield in lane 8 from Carnegie, 35.91 leading them out. And Samantha having a pretty good season so far, improvement in a number of different events, but this is looking like she's fairly controlling it. Nice long stroke there, not too short, and she's looking in good shape.
Yep, the 16-year-old from Carnegie has made a lot of progress this season and doesn't seem to be afraid of anything when she gets in the pool. And the centre lane, the rather more experienced swimmer, probably Shannon McClelland of Dumfries, is right there with her now, and they're the 1-2, just 1100th apart as they go through 1:18.55 and 1:18.66. Give you a guide, that's 8 seconds or so behind the leading times from Johnson and Buchan in the A finals, so that puts it into perspective in this B final. But it's going to be good tight racing here, and coming up nicely in lane 3 is the Swim Trafford swimmer Heather Lawson, and also Shona Mackie of West Lothian is in the mix, and beside her the youngster 14-year-old Erin Robertson of South Ayrshire. A number of swimmers in the mix here as they come to the 150 mark, and Shannon McClellan leads it from Lawson and Caulfield to 1:14. Those three within a second of each other, so they could be in there, but that was a good turn from McClellan and also Lawson, and these two maybe now are the ones who are going to sort it out between them. Lawson is looking threatening beside McClellan, half a length to go then. It's pretty close indeed here. And it's all about who holds it together, I think, in this final 15 metres as they're side by side now. So this is one of the tightest races we've seen. Shannon McClelland of Dumfries doing her best to hold off the girl from Swim Trafford. It looks like she's maybe just got the edge, but she's going to have to nail a finish. Oh, they both of it dive for the wall there, but it is McClelland who comes through victorious. 2:43.48 from Lawson, 2:43.64 there. And Erin Robertson, good finish from her, 2:45.50 there as the summary comes up. McClelland then, 2:43.48. Lawson second, 2:43.64. And young Erin Robertson third, 2:45.50. Ali, your thoughts on that one?
Well, as I thought, Shannon McClelland would want to work that second half, and I think she just did that. You could see that Heather Lawson really working hard on the third 50 to bring herself into contention, and it turned out to be really close at the end and all about who could spot the finish. And I thought that McClellan wasn't going to quite make it at the end, and she just reached a little bit further to get to the wall and did enough to take the race by 0.2 of a second odds.
Yep, it certainly got very tight at the end there, and yep, just maybe grew her fingernails for that one. So here come the medalists and the presenter. Here is Alan Fletcher, a board member of Scottish Swimming and former president. And he gives the bronze medal to Carnegie's Rachel O'Donnell. Time of 2:34.73 for Rachel. Silver medal, Catherine Johnson, brave swim, led from the front, just couldn't quite hold it, 2:33.18. And Kerry Buchan, her first championship medal, 2:29.67 for her. And the junior champion, Warrender swimmer Emma Chittleborough, 2:41.82 for Emma. Overall 8th place.
And that's a nice swim there from Emma Chittleborough, quite close to our personal best. She'll have swims later in the summer down at the ASA Youth Championships, so hopefully that'll stand her in good stead.
So we're done with the 200 breaststroke, so it's men's 50 backstroke next, so a little bit of time to reconfigure the pool, and we'll be away with these very fast 50s that we're going to see here. So this one, I think, pretty interesting. Number of swimmers could vie for this one. We've got the Scottish record holder here, Craig McNally, 25.92. That record stands at. The junior record holder is Jack Ness. He's also in this one, no longer a junior, 17-year-old from City of Aberdeen. The fastest qualifier, though, Rory Lamont of Western Berkshire, 26.28. We talked about him at the top of the programme. Very fast this morning.
Yep. Jimmy Orr, his coach, been working specifically on trying to make sure they can get off the wall and do the underwater section of the race as quickly as possible, focusing primarily on the 50, probably with the Commonwealth Games in mind next year. But you could see in his 100 yesterday that it was starting to transfer into that swim as well, where his personal best, albeit that he hadn't done it for a while, dropped from a 64 down to a 57 points. So clearly the speed element of the race is having a big impact.
Yep, so the swimmers now making their way to the blocks, of course, at the other end of the pool from where we've been. So we see them coming there. And we have in lane 0, Craig Bowman. In lane 1, we have Callum Shaw, Edinburgh University. In lane 2, we have Jack Ness, City of Aberdeen. In lane 3, Kieran McGuckin, Edinburgh University. In lane 4, from Rory Lamont, Western Bartonshire. In lane 5, Andrew McGovern of City of Aberdeen. In lane 6, we've got Craig McNally of Warrender. Lane 7, Graham Lyons of Western Bartonshire. Lane 8, James Thompson, Edinburgh University. And lane 9, Craig McLean of Carnegie. So, a number of swimmers could be interesting here, but let's have a look at Lamont, McGovern, McNally, McGuckin maybe, Lyons, very nearly made it to the Delhi Commonwealth Games in the 50.
He did, he just
Was
missed it by a
very
fraction,
close.
yeah, that's
very
right.
frustrated, I think, not to get there.
He was.
So away they go. Don't expect there to be a lot in between these swimmers as they come out of the push-off. And it's white cap in lane 4. That is Rory Lamont. And he does look to have the edge from Andrew McGovern in lane 5. And the other side is Kieran McGuckin. They look to be the 1, 2, 3. Lamont maybe just has the edge, but coming right at him now is McGovern. It's between those two. And on the touch, it is Lamont who takes it. 26.25. Improves by 300ths from his heat time. Big improvement from McGovern, just 400ths behind, 26.29 for him against the 26.71 in the heats. And McGuckin takes third, a 10th ahead of McNally, 26.61. So the 1, 2, 3 there, Lamont, McGovern and McGuckin.
And what an excellent race that was, Duncan. Extremely close at the end. We saw at the start all of the main contenders using the maximum 15 metres, but it was probably Lamont that had the best transition into the stroke. But probably on swimming speed, we had Andrew McGovern actually probably the fastest swimmer in the pool, and you could see that in the last 10 metres as he was clawing it back inch by inch and just narrowly missing out to Lamont on the finish.
So if McGovern could work a bit more on the start bit of that race, he would have maybe got that.
I think he's improved his skills, but there's obviously still a way to go with regards to that. Maybe a smoother transition into the stroke as well. And once he's getting right on top of those, I think swimming speed, he's looking pretty good.
So B final up next. You have the swimmer names there for you. And they're getting into the water and ready to go. Times 28.4 to 29.6. So away we go. The fastest Suleiman Butt from Ross McCafferty, 28.4, 28.5 respectively. So this could be also very close indeed. Butt is going well in the white cap in lane 4, and he looks to just have the edge here. Beside him is Ross McCafferty in the black cap, and also on the other side, Greg Watson of Mulgai and Bearsden, and also lane 2, Alistair Kirkwood, City of Glasgow. It's very, very tight finish. There's a blanket finish, in fact. McCafferty, though, just coming through the strongest at the end there, and nudges it 28.06 for him, but second in 28.13. And Greg Watson taking the 28.25. So McCafferty, Butt, and Watson, the 1, 2, 3 there.
And another nice tight finish at the end there. Ross McCafferty coming through just at the end, and his finish right on the end of the stroke made a massive difference in terms of sneaking in front of Suleiman Butt by 0.07 of a second.
Yep, it did look like McCafferty just had a little bit more speed at the end there as well. But Butt certainly pushing hard, but McCafferty just nicking it. But straight to the presentation now. And to make these presentations, we have Archie Sorensen. And Archie is the winner of the Scottish Gas Facebook competition. Looks like he's a Warrender swimmer, so well done to Archie. And he gets to make these presentations. It's going to be a stretch for him, but the swimmers are ducking down to help him. And the bronze medal to Edinburgh University's Kieran McGuckin. The silver medalist to City of Aberdeen's Andrew McGovern. You know, Andrew's a big boy, so he certainly had to reach up there. And the gold medalist and Scottish champion Rory Lamont of Western Bartonshire. And the junior champion coming up onto the podium now, and that is Carnegie swimmer Craig McLean. I think that is Craig's first junior medal, so congratulations to him. The 15-year-old, so he has, I think, another year as a junior. As we move then to the women's butterfly. Harkin going in 4, Matos in 5, Hope in 3, Sharples in 6, Jones in 7, Averill in 2, 27.6 to 29.2. Expectations, Ali?
Well, I do think that off the start it may well be Matos that takes it out, but I think in swimming speed at the moment, from the heats it looked like Harkin had a little bit on the swimming speed. However, Raquel Matos in really great form.
So maybe a mini version of the Johnson-Buchan battle, with Matos going out hard, playing the Johnson role, and Harkin playing the Buchan role, trying to come back at her in the second half. Of course, only over one length this time. Yep. It's quite different, really.
Or even that 50 backstroke there as well. It's just about making sure that you can maximise that skill off the block and underwater, transition into stroke, and then being able to utilise your swimming speed all the way through.
So the swimmers coming to the blocks, and we'll be introducing them now. Starting with lane 0, and that is Laura Dawson of Newburn. In lane 1, we have Kate Laverick of Warrender. In lane 2, Lauren Averill, Mulgai and Bearsden. In lane 3, Lucy Hope of Best. In lane 4, we have Sean Harkin for the University of Stirling. In lane 5, Raquel Matos of East Lothian. In lane 6, Rachel Sharples of East Lothian. In lane 7, Emily Jones of Aberdeen. In lane 8, Jessica Christie, South Aberdeenshire. And in lane 9, Kirsty Simpson of Dundee City Aquatics. Jess Christie had a hard 200 freestyle swim earlier. But plenty of recovery time, or will she still feel the effects of an earlier swim? We'll find out in a moment as we get ready to go. So off they go then. Sian Harkin 27.60, 27.75 for Raquel Matos, and it is these two in the centre lanes, not too much in it. In fact, Harkin is holding her own, in fact, slightly ahead of Matos as they go past the halfway mark and past the final 15 then, and it is definitely Harkin has the edge. Looks like Matos has second. It's anyone's race for third though. It's these two who are going to take the 1-2 though. Harkin 27.32, just a quarter for a second away from the Scottish record there. Matos 27.75 and Sharples taking third, so 2 East Lothian medals there, 28.36 for Rachel Sharples. So that's the 1, 2, 3 up on the board for you now. Sian Harkin 27.32, Raquel Matos 27.75 and Rachel Sharples the 28.36. So Harkin pushed it hard in the first half there.
She did, and she got off on the start quite well. What I will say is that the record was under threat all the way until the last 5 metres, where she found that she was off stroke on the finish. So right on the finish, she looked as though she was going to eat the timing pad. So I think that 0.3 of a second could easily have been overcome on the last couple of strokes.
Okay, well, maybe later this year as we move on to the B final. And the field here is Lim in 0, Stark in 1, Phillips in 2, Plowman in 3, Marshall in 4, Donnelly in 5, Reid in 6, Bryce in 7, White in 8 and Fleming in 9. 29.4 up to 34 is the times in the heats, and this one is too tight to call in any way whatsoever. There's a number of swimmers, particularly lanes 3, 4 and 5 are all up there. It's going to be on the finish, on the touch, and it is Leanna Marshall of North Lanarkshire by 0.02 of a second. She takes it in 29.41. Megan Donnelly of Mulgai and Bearsden second, just 0.02 behind, 29.43, and then another 0.03 to Arona Plowman of City of Aberdeen, 29.46. Just 500 separating first, second and third there, and then a 10th to 4th place, Katie Phillips. So a very, very tight one there. Maybe would have liked to have been a little faster.
I'm sure that she would have done, but I think that's a pretty decent swim from Leanna Marshall there, 29.4. So
a swimmer who seems to have come back into form this last few months, maybe back training harder, I don't know.
Yeah, I think she's obviously a little older now, and had been in the youth development squad a number of years back and disappeared away from the scene for a bit, but I know she's back in training and enjoying her swimming at the moment, and I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and it's great to see these older swimmers be swimming competitively and, as you say, enjoying their swimming. So back to presentations, and making these presentations, the stalwart of Scottish swimming. He's been around a few years, shall we say, life member Bill Black. Many times we've seen him around the pool with camera around his neck, taking some fantastic photographs for Scottish swimming, and he awards the bronze medal to Rachel Sharples of East Lothian. Rachel's colleague in the East Lothian programme, Raquel Matos, takes the silver. And the Scottish Gas national champion, University of Stirling, Sian Harkin, beckoned to the front of the block there by Bill. He's not going to stretch further than he has to. And Lucy Hope, yet again on the podium, junior medal. I think Bill thought he was in luck there for a hug, I think. Or Lucy was going to dive at him. But anyway, she is the junior champion, the swimmer from Best. Not for the first time, junior champion. Probably for the last time though, because we're running out of events now.
Yeah, maybe she'll have a chance at a couple of short course ones later in the season, but
Yes, I'm sure she would. I meant, of course, in this competition.
In this
this
competition,
evening.
yes, absolutely.
Yep, it will be interesting. Hope that we'll be able to transmit to you in December from the Royal Commonwealth Pool for Short Course Championships, which is always a very exciting end to the year. But our next event is the men's 400 metres individual medley, and that's just about ready to go now. The swimmers coming across. Now, Lewis Smith has pulled out of this final, so that's maybe opened the door, has it, for Ross Muir, but the fastest qualifier, Fabian Whitbread. By introducing the swimmers, in lane 0, we have Ryan Brown of Best. In lane 1, Stuart McIntosh of City of Aberdeen. In lane 2, we have Felix Gifford of City of Aberdeen. In lane 3, Duncan Scott of First. In lane 4, we have Fabian Whitbread of Warrender. In lane 5, Ross Muir, University of Stirling. In lane 6, Alistair Miley of Geary. In lane 7, Mark Deans of City of Glasgow. Lane 8, we have Ross Woolley of Warrender. And in lane 9, Jack McComish of South Lanarkshire. So Jack, a deaf swimmer, so you'll see maybe on the cameras that orange light beside him, so he will get the visual signal from that light that will tell him it's time to go. And away they go. So we were just talking about that as before we introduce the swimmers. Whitbread and Muir, no Lewis Smith. How do you see this one panning out?
Well, I very much make Ross Muir the favourite. I think he looked very good this morning. I think he's returning to form. He controlled the race this morning and able to cruise it on the freestyle. So I don't think I'll be surprised to see Ross with a fairly healthy lead after the backstroke leg, and he'll be able to dominate from there.
Not too much in it in the early stages. Ross Woolley in lane 8, the first to turn there. There's a number of other swimmers up there early on, but one of them is Ross Muir in lane 5. Also over in lane 1, Stuart McIntosh, who's had a good championships, is going nicely in the white cap, but it is going to be Muir who leads them at the end of the butterfly section of the race, just on the minute, 1:00:26. Second was McIntosh, 1:00:81, and third Woolley, 1:01:95. And as they go into backstroke, it's still, I think those three are certainly Muir and McIntosh 1 and 2, and then it's close. I think Woolley now being gobbled up by Whitbread, and beside Whitbread is Duncan Scott. Just behind them we've got Alistair Miley. He may well move up in the backstroke section. Ross Muir though, 1:33:12, so over 4.5 seconds up. This is looking like a very convincing victory coming his way. Don't suppose, do you, that anyone can pull it back from here?
No, as I thought, after the backstroke leg, he'll push on the breaststroke. Looking very strong in that second 50, always trying to work the second half of the 100 just a little bit stronger. He got into his stroke really quickly. That looks like a 105 point backstroke there, which is a pretty solid split there for Ross. And he's straight into his stroke there, nice and long. He used the first few strokes to get into it, but he's now pushing on and trying to make sure that that second 50 is just as good, if not better, than his first 50 of the breaststroke.
So we've got a good competitive race for the minor medals, and this is where maybe you expect Fabian Whitbread to push on in the breaststroke, and he looks to be doing that, just pulling away from the others, but not going to make any impact, I don't think, on Muir's lead. 2:43.15 for Muir at the 250. So still that 6 seconds advantage over Whitbread, with the junior Duncan Scott just in third now, ahead of Miley and Woolley.
And I think if Duncan Scott can just hang in there with Fabian Whitbread, we could be in for an interesting finish on the freestyle. But Whitbread looking pretty good on the breaststroke, really stretching out. Might have just cut into Ross's lead a little bit, but Ross looks as though he's got it well under control.
Yep, I think so, as he goes into the freestyle 3:20.95. So that was a 1:15 split for his breaststroke. Let's just see, it's 3:20.70, so still nearly 7 seconds the gap, and then what's that, 3.5 seconds between Whitbread and Scott. Scott with a bit of a margin over Miley for third place, 3:33 for Miley.
And I think that'll be the way that it finishes. It's really about how quickly Ross can go. I think his season's best so far is about a 4:25, so I think something underneath that. He's probably looking around about 22 to 23. If he can manage that, then I think he'd be particularly happy in terms of moving towards Sheffield.
Yep, so half a length to go, less than that now for Cameron Muir. Whitbread certainly looking good for second, and Scott holding on to third, although Miley may just attack him down the last few metres. But here comes Ross Muir. He brings it in 4:25.55. Whitbread in for silver, 4:31.99, and Scott takes bronze, 4:34.47. The junior record, 4:29, a Lewis Smith record, so that's been around for a while. Do you think Scott could challenge that later this year? Could he take 5 seconds off that?
Yeah, I think his best is around about 4:31, 4:32, so I would fully expect Duncan to challenge that in the summer.
Well, let's hope so, but just confirming there, the 1-2-3, Ross Muir, 4:25.55, takes it. Whitbread second, 4:31.99, and Duncan Scott third. He'll also be the junior champion, 4:34.47.
And that was a good performance from Ross Muir there. I think he'd be particularly pleased up to about 250. Just started to get a little bit short on the breaststroke towards the back end of that 100. And on the freestyle, probably didn't maximise that as much as he could have done. He came back at a 64 on that freestyle, and probably expected to be more towards the 62, 61 marker. But overall, I think he'll be positive. A good victory, and be well chuffed to be Scottish national champion.
Yep. So the B final will follow this. The last couple of swimmers just making their weary way out of the pool. And we focus our attention on the swimmers who will go in the B final. We don't have a full pool here. We've got the 2 outside lanes missing, so 8 swimmers will go. Lanes 1 to 8. And they're away. So in lane 1 we have Ross Scale of round 96. In 2, Scott Deans from City of Glasgow. In 3 is Johnson Shearer of City of Glasgow. In 4, Chris McComb of East Lothian. In 5, Callum Deans of Elgin. In 6, Cameron Nelson of Carnegie. 7 is Cameron Finlayson of Hearts. And in 8, Joe Yeoman of City of Aberdeen. 4:50 up to 4:55 are the heat times here, so expect this one to be a lot closer than the A final.
Absolutely, and it's Chris McComb just heading it out at the moment. Chris, again, another swimmer that's had a fantastic season, really moved through in a number of his events, and it's a delight to see him swimming this 400 medley. He's pretty sound in all 4 strokes, and probably one of the events that he could really start to excel on.
So 1:03.50, McComb taking them through the fly, 3/10 up on Callum Deans of Elgin. So Callum Deans looking as though he's going to keep with Chris McComb in the backstroke leg, and then on lane 8 there is Joe Yeoman. He's very much in the mix, and Also in 6 is Carnegie's Cameron Nelson. So a number of swimmers up there now. But Joe Yeoman in particular is pushing on, and he's now taken the lead on just under the 140, halfway through the backstroke. Leads by, what's that, 17 hundredths over McComb, with Deans in third.
And Joe Yeoman is quite a strong backstroker, so he'll be wanting to maximise this part of the medley. And then I would expect Chris McComb on the breaststroke to start moving through. He's a particularly strong breaststroker, so I think Chris is in pole position at the moment.
So Yeoman at the halfway point by about a metre, 2:15.86. McComb second, 2:16.69, and Shearer third now, 2:17.96. So let's see what Chris McComb could do in the breaststroke leg. Certainly is setting about it, and I think he's already up there now with Yeoman, and alongside him the Elgin swimmer Callum Deans looks very interested in this breaststroke component of the race as well, and he's going with McComb there. So the two of them now in the centre lanes, taking it on, I think, from Yeoman in lane 8. We'll see precisely, because a little difficult to tell from this end of the pool how they're doing as they turn. Yeoman's still very much there, but just behind McComb. 2:57.92 McComb, 2:58.13 for Yeoman, and just behind them Dean. So we've got a three-way contest here. Shearer not out of it either in lane 3, and he might have a strong freestyle finish.
Well, this really is developing into a fantastic race. Callum Dean's a great breaststroke leg there, just moving through to the front, and it's all going to come down to the freestyle.
And it's the Elgin swimmer, I think, maybe is just going to touch in the lead as they get to the 300 and the end of the breaststroke. 3:39.73, plays 3:40.04 for McComb. These two now just open up a bit of a gap on the swimmers behind them. They are Johnson Shearer and Joe Yeoman. And it's Deans from McComb. Expect McComb to come back hard at him here in the freestyle. Can any of the other two push on and try and catch the leading pair up? But it's a tight one here in the yellow cap. Chris McComb of East Lothian up against the dark cap. Callum Deans of Elgin coming to the final turn then. Let's see who gets it. It is McComb. He is up by about 4/10 now. Now can he drive on? Don't discount Johnson Shearer here in lane 3. He is only about a metre and a half back here. He's got a lot more experience than Chris McComb, so he's going to push on here and try and snatch it in the death. McComb's going to need all his efforts here to hold him off, and it is Shearer alongside McComb then. 10 metres to go. It's very, very tight, but it is Johnson Shearer just edging into the lead. He timed that well and did what was required to snatch it there. 4:45.10 Johnson Shearer. McComb has to make do with second. 4:45.67. Callum Dean's a good swim from him as well. 4:47.40. Those three significantly faster than they were this morning. So good racing there.
Well, lovely to see the two younger guys fighting it out in the middle, Chris McComb and Callum Deans, but nobody deserves victory more than Johnston Shearer. As a young man travelling from Ayr all the way up to Glasgow twice a day, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, and he continues to work hard with his swimming. He's now doing a little bit of coaching as well at City of Glasgow, but a fantastic effort there by Johnston, and he'll be looking to pick up some team points for City of Glasgow as well. Excellent job.
Yep. So we move to the medal presentation now for this men's 400 individual medley, and it is the Chief Executive of Scottish Swimming, Forbes Dunlop, looking very casual today. He's in his best bib and tucker at the first day of the meet. Sunday casual clothing, and he gives the bronze medal to Duncan Scott of First. Silver medal will go to Fabian Whitbread of Warrender. And the gold medalist in that time of 4:25.55 from University of Stirling, Ross Muir. second medal for Duncan Scott, and that is the junior medal. So he takes the top podium point to accept that one, and they move away, and Duncan Scott, I think, being grabbed by Kirsten Phillips, so I think we may get the chance to see him on YouTube later on and see what he thinks. Kirsten, great interviewer, and we'll hear what questions she has to ask and what answers Duncan has to give. So that will be up on YouTube. Plenty of opportunities of lots and lots of things to look on there. Loads and loads of you have been on the Scottish Swimming feed, so thank you very much for that. We've had huge numbers, 500 people talking about us on Facebook over the last few days. We've had more subscribers on YouTube as well, so all of the people there on watching us on the live stream. So I hope you're enjoying it. Give us your thoughts as we come to the conclusion. So in lane 1 we have Alicia McCracken first in this women's 1500 freestyle. In lane 2, Meg Finnan of South Lanarkshire. 3 is Camilla Hattersley at City of Glasgow. In lane 4, Aisha Thornton of Loughborough University. Lane 5, Lucy Campbell of Windsor. In lane 6, Helen McRoberts of Warrender. In lane 7, Rebecca Smith from the Highland swim team. And lane 8, Abby Houston of Dumfries. So 1500 freestyle, the fastest heat. So 17:58.75 is the fastest time so far. Mari High of round 96. We don't have Megan Gilchrist or Hannah Miley in this one, both of whom entered but have decided not to compete in this one. It's a shame, but I'm sure we'll see some good racing. We've got the open water specialist Lucy Campbell here, so interesting to see her. Aisha Thornton as well. Aisha Thornton with the fastest entry time, 16:38. Slightly confusing seeing that red W on a white cap. And of course it's not Warrender, it's Windsor.
Windsor, that's right.
For Lucy Campbell. Because Warrender with their, I think it's 125th anniversary this year, have put out a special white and red as opposed to red and white edition of their team uniforms, including their cap. But this one is worn by Windsor's Lucy Campbell, so nothing to do with Warrender whatsoever. Aisha Thornton then, early days, 29.75 for her at the 50 mark. So in this 1500, if you're Aisha Thornton here, how are you going to swim this? Just settle into a steady rhythm and then stick to it metronomically?
I think that's what she'll try to do, but I think she'll have her own goals within that, within the race, her own outcome that she's looking for. So she can't afford to just stay with the field. She needs to get out there and set her own pace. I think it'll be interesting to see how the rest of it develops, whether Aisha maybe went out a little bit too quick or whether she's able to just to keep that ticking over. And of course Lucy Campbell there, who'll be going to the European Junior Open Water Championships. She looks as though she's gone out nice and comfortably at the start, coached by Matt Heathcock down at Windsor. And then also Camilla Hattersley, who's had a recent return to form following a little bit of an ankle injury. So it's going to shape up for a good race all round. And I wouldn't discount some of the other girls round about as well. Abby Houston in there from Dumfries. They've had a pretty good meet again with that, and traditionally the way they swim the 15s is to build the 500s 1 to 3, so maybe we'll see her feature a little bit towards the back end of the race. But at the moment it's Aisha Thornton setting the pace, and a long high elbow, lovely body position there, and she's gone through the first 200 in 2:08. and I think that's not far away from what she went out in for the 400, I think, if I remember rightly. I think she was around 2:7, 2:8 on that one, so she seems to be on track to be going pretty quick.
Yep, so just over 1:06 pace there for Aisha Thornton. And she leads the way from Camilla Hattersley, and already a fairly substantial lead there. Camilla Hattersley, so silver medal I think probably would be a good result for her here.
Well, I think Camilla will be also after some time outcomes as well, and she's back to good health and swimming pretty well. She'll be wanting to maximise every opportunity that she's got in the pool at the moment, right the way through to the end of the season, and then start looking fresh again for the following season with Commonwealth Games qualification coming in April next year.
So 3:14.74, 1:06 high for Aisha there. Lead is about 6 seconds, and then just a second between Camilla Hattersley and Lucy Campbell. Then 3 fairly close together. Lane 2, Meg Finnan. Helen McRoberts in 6 and Rebecca Smith in 7. Rebecca Smith, daughter of Roddy Smith, the Scottish Cricket Chief Executive. I think he might be here tonight. Anyway, here we are, coming to 400 metres. Now 10 metres advantage now to Aisha. 4:21.77. You talked about her high arms earlier. Is there a different optimum technique if you're swimming the distance compared with the shorter distances?
Well, I think you've got to make sure that the technique suits you the way you're swimming. There's probably some key fundamentals you're looking for. First and foremost, the body position, and making sure that it is absolutely straight, so it's streamlined, and then being able to rotate round about it. Now, some people might find that bringing round the arms round the body position and rotating in that way, that's maybe more effective than the high elbow, but the high elbow is the more traditional way of bringing it through. And for Aisha, they're looking pretty effective. To be honest, everything looks still. She's working that 6-beat leg kick, but you can see that she's got really good control of that 6-beat leg kick. It's not overworked at this stage. It's just there for real balance. It's not really contributing much to the overall speed of the stroke or the overall pace. But she doesn't want to overwork her legs too much, because the legs are obviously going to utilise most of the oxygen there and the energy spend, so being the biggest muscles. So she's going to try and make sure that she uses her arms, the majority of the legs, to balance, and then gradually as she goes in, bring the legs in a little bit more, picking up the pace and allowing her to swim a little bit faster.
So part of a big programme at Loughborough University, and not too many Scots at Loughborough. Of course, we did have Caitlin McClatchy there up until last summer.
Indeed, and Aisha coached by Steve Bailey, formerly by Ian Armiger, before he decided to go and lie on the beach in the Cayman Islands. Although I
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you, indeed? But I think it's maybe the beach got too hot for him, actually, because I think he's out and about on the swimming scene now. So wherever he ends up, we wish him all the best.
Yep. So we're coming to 600 metres now, and Aisha going through that 6:36.02. So around the 1:07 pace. So I think looking to be pacing pretty much on her 16:38 entry time. It's still very much a contest for second.
Yep.
Camilla Hattersley just with the edge on Lucy Campbell, but do you think Lucy might push on in the second third of this race and give Camilla some problems?
I think she certainly controlled the first 300 or 400, nice long relaxed stroke, and that's really good to see. Well, as a youngster, you know, you tend to be a little bit shorter, but she's clearly been working on trying to lengthening it out a little bit and controlling what she's doing, so be in charge of her stroke. And then as the race will go on, she'll try and pick that tempo up, and I think she's just started to do that after the first 500. She just started to pick that tempo up, and I think you'll see that she's just gaining on Camilla now. And they're just
7:43.36.
Anybody watching Aisha there coming off the wall, lovely streamlined position, but probably just leaving the breakout a little bit late. Just slowing down off the wall and then having to accelerate again with her first arm stroke, which is using a little bit more energy. Probably wants a smoother transition into the stroke. And of course, if you're swimming 1500 and you're doing it that many times, you want to make sure that you've been as efficient as possible.
Okay. So Lucy Campbell, of course, the Anglo-Scot. So how does that work within the context of the Scottish youth programme into swimmers combining their programmes at home, which you're less familiar with their positions in the youth programme?
It's a very good question, Duncan. Clearly with coaches down south, it's primarily up to them how they want to design and develop their programmes. Scottish Swimming helps the athlete as much as possible, whether that's through funding or support at meets, or if there's competitive opportunities elsewhere. So Lucy, as part of the programme, previously been away in specific camps with the youth squad as well, but this year specifically, she's been away on one of our own domestic camps or being abroad there. We've been able to support her with a little bit of funding in that respect, but she's very much part of the Scottish swimming scene. We're delighted that she's been part of what we've been doing for a while. I know she's a very proud Scot, and we're delighted to have her as part of our group.
And we certainly wish her well in the open water in the European Juniors in July, and hopefully she'll perform with great distinction there. But if we focus back on the front, then we're coming towards 900 metres. Aisha. And she goes through 9:58.45. So maybe just slipping slightly in pace, 1:07.5 there.
She was out pretty quick on the 800 there, through an 8:50. So I think in the 800, what was she, around 8:44, something like that. So she's not far off her 800 pace. But if you think she went through in 4:21, then maybe that early pace is just starting to pay a little bit.
You wouldn't expect them to go through the 800 split as fast as they would finish in 800. You've obviously got a sprint finish in the 800.
You could do that. You could see that. I think last year when she swam the 1500, she went through in PB just about at that point. But she was competing against Megan Gilchrist at the time, so there was somebody else. Whether this is particularly difficult when you're right on the edge and trying to just not go over the top with your pace when you're on your own. It's particularly difficult to keep repping the same pace every time, especially when it starts to hurt.
So 1,000 metres coming up. Just looking at Camilla Hatsley again. She's still holding off Lucy Campbell, so she's successfully negotiated the second third of this race, holding off Lucy Campbell. So interesting to see whether she can keep that going in the last 500. She's got, what's that, a second and a half of an advantage, just over a body length. Obviously in the context of 500 metres to go, that's not a lot. So really work on the assumption that they're swimming together. Just going back a bit then, we've got Rebecca Smith in 4th place and then Meg Finnan in 5th. Meg, we're looking for the junior medal here. So a promising youngster from South Lanarkshire, 15-year-old.
And Rebecca Smith, the swimmer from the Highlands in Skye, so a very, very dedicated swimmer from there. Just really had a good meet, put in some good PBs, and I think she'll be looking to just try and drop inside our lifetime best in this event as well.
So 12:13, so down to 1:08 now. So maybe Aisha just struggling slightly to maintain the pace. Well, it was at 1:07 steadily, and that's gradually slipped back now to 1:08. I don't think it's going to affect her lead, but will affect her time.
And I think that'll be the key thing for her. She'll be obviously wanting to win the race and become Scottish national champion. But at the same time, she'll have a particular outcome that she's looking for with regards to time. And obviously the process in which she's gone through in this race, that's what's going to deliver it. But she'll be either happy or sad depending on what actually happens by the end.
Yep, okay. While this is going on, just give a shout out to Scottish Swimming's former chief executive, who is, I know, watching us here on the live feed. So Ashley Howard from Canada, warm welcome to you. I hope you're enjoying these championships, and I hope you're missing us. Congratulations on your new role, and great to see that you've got that position. University of British Columbia.
That's right.
So sounds like a very exciting role that Ashley is taking on there.
Ashley Howard watching swimming, whatever next.
Looks like Camilla Hattersley has just broken away now from Lucy Campbell, so it's Camilla who's made the decisive move maybe in the final 500, and she's suddenly now got about 6-7 meters on Lucy Campbell, and that's, I think it's going to be tough now for Lucy to make up.
I think absolutely right. Absolutely right, Duncan. Camilla doing a great job at the moment, and just starting to move away from Lucy, and looks as though she's just eating into Aisha's lead a little bit, but Aisha actually looks as though she started to pick up a little bit, but I'm sure you'll tell me in a minute when you check the split.
So we'll check on the time there, 14:29.06. So still 107, 108 sort of territory. Hattersley 14:38, so around about 9 seconds back, and then 14:45 for Campbell. So it does now look like we have a 1-2-3 as they go through 13:50. So Thornton will hear the bell next time, and Hattersley is maybe 13-14 meters back on her, and now pretty much a similar distance back to Lucy Campbell. So 100 to go then. 15:36.50. So we'll be looking now for Aisha Thornton to drive it on. So 16:38. I suspect that's going to be slightly outside that. Camilla Hattersley enters 16:59, so I think she'll be maybe looking to improve on that. Lucy Campbell third as the remaining swimmers now start to take the bell. Rebecca Smith, Meg Finnan, Helen McRoberts, and then Abby Houston, but heading for home now after the end of a grueling race. Aisha Thornton, half a length to go, so this is going to be a good championship gold medal for her. Into the final 15 then, in time in the mid 16:30s now, so she's going to be in the low 16:40s here as Aisha Thornton brings it in 16:42.34. So Hattersley entry time 16:59. She's into the final 5. She's going to post a good improvement, coming in 16:53.18, so 6 seconds inside her entry time. Campbell coming in for third in 17:02.13, so not far away from a 16:58 entry time. So I guess she's still in heavy training as she prepares for that European Juniors open water event, so I don't think she'll be too bothered with that. It's Rebecca Smith, 4:17.13, so big pick up in time for Rebecca. And just behind there, Meg Finnan, also a good improvement, 17.18 for her, ahead of Helen McRoberts, 17.24. As the remaining swimmers come in, Abby Houston, 17.31, another good improvement from a 17.52 entry time. 17.32 for McCracken, also 12-second improvement. And, well, in fact, McCracken actually still with final length, so that was her 14.50 time I was looking at. Apologies about that. So she's going to come in.
And an excellent effort there from Aisha Thornton to win in 16.42. Not outside her best, but swimming the entire race on her own, really. And worked extremely hard there. But some great swimming there. Camilla Hattersley, 16.53. That's a great drop from her. Lucy Campbell at 17.02. She'll be pretty happy with that as well, looking forward to the summer. But Rebecca Smith, 17.13. On that one, I think that's an excellent swim from her and an excellent drop in her entry time.
So the confirmation of the top three there. Aisha Thornton, 16.42.34, wins it. Camilla Hattersley second, 16.53.18, and Lucy Campbell taking third, 17.02.13. And they will be presented after the relays this time. So we are going straight into the relays. We are medley relay swimming tonight, and we've got both the men and the women, 3 heats in each, and we start off with the men. So the men's medley relay, Heat 1, we've got East Lothian Swim Team B team in 3, led off by Jonathan Sharples, Oren 96 with Ewan Bruff in 4, and Mulgai Best End Junior team in 5 with Max Burns. On paper, 4:17 for Wren against 4:44 and 4:45, so this would be a walk in the park for Wren on that basis, but you know, who knows, on relay entry times can be very different if you've got a different team from the one you expected. Leading, in fact, is Mulgai and Bearsden's Max Burns, 32.53. Just alongside nearly is Ewan Bruff for Wren 96, so only half a metre, I think, between these two. So, of course, we've got different stroke for each swimmer. We start off with the backstroke. And there's nothing in it at all as the backstrokers come in. 108.77 Ewan Bruff, 108.88 for Max Burns as they go on to breaststroke next. And doing that for Wren 96 is James Murphy, Benjamin Bowman for Mulgai and Bearsden, and Struan Stewart for East Lothian. This team has decided to go back to black, in the words of Amy Whitehouse, with their caps from their yellow that they've been sporting most of the week.
I think obviously their team is looking to be the fashion gurus of the meet, sporting yellow and black and bees and yellow trousers and all of that sort of stuff. Fantastic.
Now, who in the East Lothian programme would wear yellow trousers?
I don't know anybody who would want to wear yellow trousers.
Matt Trodden, are we talking about you?
Well,
who is to say?
I suppose when you're young and handsome, then I suppose you can wear what you want.
Yeah, but if you're Matt, then what do you do? Well, we've got a three-way contest here, though. Let's just focus on that for a moment. Wren still just with the edge, but the three teams going in very close there. Murphy, 2:25.84 for Wren, but taking it on in the butterfly leg, we've got Ross McDonald for Wren, either side of him, Sean Swan for East Lothian, and Ian Fletcher for Mulgai and Bearsden. And it's Wren doing their best to reassert their lead now after it all came together at the end of the breaststroke. And it is Wren 96 now starting to pull away. Ross McDonald going very nicely here and already has picked up over 2 seconds on East Lothian. And then Mulgai and Bearsden, the 13-year-old Ian Fletcher up against the 16-year-old and the 18-year-old here. So he's got learning experience here. But it is Wren's Ross McDonald, the 18-year-old, who is open up now, 7 or 8 meters for his team, Wren 96, and the final swimmer goes in to do the freestyle, and that's Ross Gale, 3:26.34 for the Wren team. East Lothian second, 3:33, and 3:34 for Ian Fletcher.
Well, the start sheet looks as though it's not far away from what's actually happening within the race now.
Yep, it didn't look like that at halfway, but the fly and the freestyle has completely turned it round here. So Wren 96 now about 20 meters up on the other two teams. They're having a pretty good battle. East Lothian just ahead of Mulgai and Bearsden, but that one I think will go the distance as Wren 96 into the last 10 meters. Then Ross Gale will bring them in, not quite at their 4:17 entry time, but a comprehensive win, 4:22.40. Ross Gale, it is going to be East Lothian holding second. Their B team, Charlie Smith on the anchor leg for them, and he brings them in ahead of Aidan Berry for Mulgai and Bearsden, 4:35 and 4:37 respectively. So the summary there, Wren 96, 4:22.40 takes it. Second, Kieran McGuckin, 4:35.36, and third, Mulgai and Bearsden junior team in 4:37.72. So, second heat coming up, and we have 8 teams already here. Their first lead-off swimmers are at the blocks, just waiting for the pool to be cleared. Of course, starting with the backstroke, so you can't go over the top when you're in the pool. As they are now just about getting ready to go. So heat 2, and we have West Lothian A team with Fraser Spooner in 1, Bristol with James Flanagan in 2, Perth City with Stephen Milne in 3, City of Aberdeen B team with Jet Ness in 4, South Lanarkshire A team, the junior team with Angus Sparr in 5, City of Glasgow B team with Alistair Kirkwood in 6, Carnegie B team with Craig McLean in 7, and South Lanarkshire B team with Jack Elby in 8.
And an interesting battle out at the front there. Stephen Milne up against Jack Ness. It looks like Stephen really pushing on now. Maybe looking to drop under the minute on this backstroke at least.
Because we saw a terrific swim from Perth City out of Heat 2 in the 4x100 freestyle yesterday. They took the silver medal out of Heat 2. Now, that was in the freestyle. What can they do in the medley? Certainly, Stephen Milne's given them an excellent backstroke lead. 58.47, much faster, unsurprisingly, than the first heat. In now for the Perth boys, Toba Mori Mackay champion. And then in lane 6 and 7, it's Matthew Nicholson for the Glasgow B team and Craig Barnes for Carnegie B team. 2 in black. And then in lane 4, it's City of Aberdeen B, Felix Gifford on the breaststroke leg for them. And over in lane 1 for West Lothian, Ewan Dalgleish. But Perth leading them still, 1:30.15, up by nearly 2 seconds from City of Glasgow. And then City of Aberdeen, those two are B teams, of course. And City of Glasgow just hunting Perth down a bit now. This is a good swim from Matt Nicholson for them. And he's got the lead down to about a metre now.
And Tobermory just hanging in there. He's putting in a good shift. But a great swim from Matt Nicholson. Coming back 10 metres on Perth there.
So very close then at the second changeover. 207.23 and 207.26. In fact, it was Nicholson got the touch there for the Glaswegians. And the third swimmers then, City of Glasgow, Edward Gray. Perth, it's Eamon Rivers, and Eamon Rivers re-establishing the lead. We saw him on the podium early on in the 100 butterfly, and so no surprise here that he is driving hard for the Perth City team. In third place looks still to be Carnegie B. Cameron Nelson doing the butterfly leg for them. But also now in lanes 4 and 5, Joe Yeoman for City of Aberdeen and Ross Leslie for the South Lanarkshire Juniors. They'll be looking to add a hat-trick of junior medals, the South Lanarkshire team. But at the front, Eamon Rivers for Perth City. Great fly leg for him. Has reopened a big lead for Perth City. Graham Hunter will do the freestyle leg to bring them home. 3:02.75 the time as he goes in. 6.5 seconds up now on City of Glasgow. So what a turnaround in the fly there from Rivers.
And that's a pretty decent team Perth have put together there. Graham Hunter really starting to stretch the lead away. And they'll be looking to put a good time up there for the rest of the teams to challenge in the final heat.
So their 4:05 was the time that they were entered on. Throughout the week they've been beating those times comprehensively, and it is second place still City of Glasgow. There's a terrific contest going on for third further down, South Lanarkshire and Carnegie, Cameron Park and Jack Sharanek, but Perth come in. They are clear winners, 3:56.60. Remember that time as the final heat goes, because that could be good enough to challenge for medals. Second, 4:03.92. Callum McGregor bringing the Glasgow B team home for second. And that third place taken by South Lanarkshire junior team in 4:07.75. And only a second or so outside the junior record there from the South Lanarkshire team. So that was a good swim there from the youngsters from South Lanarkshire once again. I think that will confirm them as the junior champions, just ahead of Carnegie, also a junior team, who gave them a good run for their money in that one.
Well, Duncan, I think this could be one of the races of the meet. I think looking at the teams here, it's a fairly even spread. Perhaps Glasgow the slight favourites, strong in the midsection, and then have Robbie Rennick to finish off. But so I think it'll be pretty close, but with Warrender, University of Edinburgh and Coast, all with solid teams in there as well. So you could see the lead changing a little bit as we go through, but I think it's going to be very exciting.
Okay, so as we come towards the climax of our coverage of the Scottish National Championships, let's hope we have a good one here. Lane 5, Edinburgh University. Cool and casual coming up to the blocks there and then going in with the rest of the field and getting ready to go. So the full lineup, we have North Lanarkshire with Connor Searle in 0, Warrender B with Fabian Whitbread in 1, Graham Lyons leading off Western Bartonshire in 2, the Glasgow A team with Ross McCafferty in 3, Warrender with Craig McNally in 4, Edinburgh University, Kieran McGuckin in 5, City of Aberdeen with Andrew McGovern in 6, Chris McComb leading off East Lothian in 7, Stirling in 8 with Joseph Wellstead, and Carnegie A team with James Collier in lane 9.
And Andrew McGovern taking it out 27.42, and we saw him earlier on in the 50 where he had plenty of swimming speed, and he's certainly cranked it up there. Kieran McGuckin putting in a good shift, but here comes Craig McNally in lane 4 as we'd expect in the second half, and he looks as though he's taking the lead, and he's going to hand over to Craig Benson.
So that was a good second half to the backstroke there from McNally, and he gave Warrender the lead there, 56.67 at the first changeover. So that is about 1.8 faster than Perth in the previous heat. Right up there with them then. So going for Warrender, Craig Benson. So a chance to see the Olympian going for Warrender here in the breaststroke leg. He's up against Nicholas Quinn for Edinburgh University, Mark Campbell for City of Aberdeen. The Glasgow team just a little bit back, but Jamie Graham will push it hard for them. He was the gold medalist in the 100 breaststroke earlier in these championships. And so I think it's going to be these four who are going to sort it out between them. Still Warrender just with the edge, but Benson is being challenged all the way here by Mark Campbell and also by Nicholas Quinn wearing the Irish cap there. And in fourth place, just in touch though very much, is Jamie Graham for City of Glasgow, but well, Benson giving about a second and a half's advantage there as they go to the butterfly men. 1:58.97. This is now quite a bit faster than the previous heat. So Sean Campsey doing the butterfly for Warrender. It's Matthew Parks for Edinburgh University, Daniel Scott for City of Glasgow, Ewan Dunbar for City of Aberdeen. East Lothian next with Mike Thompson, but they're a way back, so I think we're still talking about these four teams.
And I think it's really now about how much lead Warrender can get on this one, because Simran Wilkes is going last for Warrender, is going to need a bit of a lead to take on Jack Thorpe and Robbie Rennick in this last 100.
Yeah, not the team, the swimmers that you'd want to be competing against, but he is going to have about 3 meters advantage to take into that as they get ready to go. The freestylers go 2:55.14. Wilkes in now for Warrender, and he's up against Edinburgh University's Jack Thorpe. Robbie Rennick for City of Glasgow. Robbie surely is in touch here. He wasn't in the 4x100 free, but here he could well strike. He'll be looking to be in the 100 team in the World Championships, the 4x100 as well as maybe the individual 100. And as they turn, it is Thorpe who leads at 3:20.17. Rennick's just ahead of Wilkes, 84 and 91 respectively. It's going to be an Edinburgh-Glasgow contest here with 20 metres to go then. Can Edinburgh University hold off Rennick of City of Glasgow? It's neck and neck still as they come into the final 5. Rennick looks as if he's right alongside now. Who's going to get the touch? And it is Edinburgh University by 300. Well, you may have put money on Rennick touching that one, but he didn't. It was Thorpe, 3:46.65. Surely deserves terrific credit there to hold off Rennick there in a very tight contest. Good swim from Simran Wilkes as well to turn Warrender the bronze medal. That's exciting stuff there. What do you think of that, Ali?
Well, as I thought it might be the case, it was going to be extremely close at the end of the day. Well, what a swim from Jack Thorpe at the end there, but I think probably you've got to look back across the whole relay and see who'd made contributions earlier on that allowed Jack to be in that position at the end. So a fantastic team effort finished off by a fast finishing Jack Thorpe.
Yeah, a very good all-round performance from that Edinburgh University team. McGuckin, Quinn, Parks and Thorpe, so they will be the champions. Great swimming, guys. And our finale then is the women's medley relay. Once again, we've got 3 heats here. We were just half a second, by the way, outside the Scottish club record there. 3:46.17. Edinburgh University hold that. So they still hold it. Their team there nearly improved on it, but they were just half a second short. So the summary up there. Edinburgh University, City of Glasgow and Warrender Baths. So we're just waiting for confirmation of that result because there may be a bit of controversy here. And look at that. Lane 5, disqualification. So that turns it all around. So we have new winners there. City of Glasgow, 3:46.68. Second, Warren de Baas, 3:48.90. And third, City of Aberdeen, 3:51.93. Wow, that is a turn up.
Well, Duncan,
So
that really is a bit of a shame, to be honest with you. It was a fantastic race, and I don't think we really want to have these things decided by DQs, but then
No.
again, you can't go early if that's what's happened, and so...
I think likely to have been a flyer. Did you notice any?
With my own eyes watching it from here, I didn't see any flyers going on there, but I certainly think that it is sad when that happens, because it was a brilliant race, a fantastic way to finish off the male and the men's events, and I think Edinburgh University definitely deserved it, but on the end of the day, if there's been a wee flyer, then that's contributed to the final result.
Yep. And when it was just 300s, if there was a flyer, then it definitely contributed to the final result.
Absolutely. It wasn't like it was 5 seconds ahead.
So, we finish off with the women 3 heats here. 3 teams to go in Heat 1. And the 3 teams are Mulgai and Bearsden Junior Team in 3, Dundee City Aquatics in 4, and Carnegie Junior Team in 5. Georgia Lynch, Kirsty Simpson and Sarah Donnelly, the lead-off swimmers here. Expect Kirsty Simpson to go off strongly from the other 2 here, the 17-year-old youth squad member. And she is doing that as they go down the first length. (31.16), so about 2.6, 2.7 of an advantage over the Carnegie team. And then in third place, Mulgai and Bearsden, 4 or 5 meters up. Just going back to that relay, of course, we had a protest from Edinburgh University and the 50 breast. Do you think we might have another one here?
Well, you never know. I think head coach Chris Jones will be in there trying to find out exactly what the detail is before making any decision on a protest. So
my partner just being attacked there by certain Mrs. Innes, so Gillian Innes. Big shout out to you. Yeah. Obviously not listening to us because you're here on the poolside, but if you watch this on playback, then leave my co-commentator alone.
Yes, indeed, it's a bit unusual for a woman to be trying to touch me up. So.
Enjoy it while you can.
Well, I'll enjoy it anytime. But
the breaststrokers now, though. Lauren Doughty for Dundee City Aquatics, Kelsey Robertson for Carnegie Juniors, Holly Wicklow for Mulgai and Bearsden Juniors. And still Dundee City Aquatics with a big advantage. 1:43.98 and 4 seconds up. 3 and a bit seconds then between second and third. So 15 meters to go for the breaststrokers. It's about 3 meters of an advantage that they have. So Carnegie maybe coming back a little bit. Kelsey Robertson has brought them back to about 3 meters as the fly swimmers make their way into the water. 2:29.51 at halfway. Claire Nixon, the relative veteran of the field, 31-year-old, is taking this one on for Dundee City Aquatics against 14-year-old Claire Maloney and 15-year-old Reagan Lang. So add up their ages. You still don't come to Claire's. But Claire showing that she's still got what it takes, and 3:01.80. Let's just see what her lead is now. It's just over 2.5 seconds. She'll be pushing hard not to let down her team here. The Masters swimmer, certainly right up there in Scottish Masters circles, and she is about 4 meters, so fairly good here. So then the Dundee City Aquatic swimmer about 4 meters up. and she hands over 3:38.96 to Stephanie Strang. Carnegie anchor swimmer is Erin Rafferty, so expect Erin Rafferty to come back at Dundee City Aquatics here. Third place, Mulgowan Bearsden, Georgia Callender, now quite a long way back, so this is going to be a Dundee-Carnegie contest in the last length and a bit. Dundee have led from the beginning when Kirsty Simpson gave them that big early backstroke lead. Can they hold it together here? Their lead is now cut to a second as they come down the last length. Strang then doing their best to hold that down this last length, but Erin Rafferty is really starting to mount the attack now, and there's only about half a metre between them with half a length to go. Looks like Carnegie can come through and take this one. They're now alongside and just moving past then, so it's Carnegie moving into the lead now, about a metre up then. Carnegie a metre and a half up now, so a great last length from Erin Rafferty in the freestyle leg. She takes it 4:43.71. Inside there, submitted entry time by half a second. Dundee City Aquatics second, 4:45.24, and third place Mulgowan Bearsden in third place. So that's the 1, 2, 3. Carnegie first, Dundee City Aquatics in second, and Mulgowan Bearsden in third. So in Heat 2, we will decide the junior champions. We've got 4 junior teams going this one. First in lane 1, Western Berkshire in 2, South Lanarkshire in 4, and Warrender in 5. It's probably that one between South Lanarkshire and Warrender. The lineup on the screen, the club codes, as the 10 swimmers doing the backstroke opening leg make their way into the water and into position. So we are underway in this penultimate race of these championships. Not too much between the 10 teams as they come down the first length. It's hard to see an obvious early move being made here. Lane 2, I think, might just have the edge. That's Chloe Buckley for Western Bartonshire, and she is taking full advantage of her experience. The 16-year-old 32.54 against India Dodd for Warrender 33.12, and Sophie Ross for West Lothian in third place. Sophie, an accomplished backstroker as well, the 18-year-old from West Lothian. Still though, lane 2, Western Bartonshire, who has the advantage. There's 4 swimmers fairly close here behind them, but it's Western Bartonshire now with about 3 metres of an advantage. So a good start for them from Chloe Barclay. She hands over to Erica Bootle, 1:06.66. Second place is West Lothian, 1:08.86, just a tad ahead of Warrender. In now for West Lothian is Shona Mackey against Emma Chittleborough for Warrender. Fairly close also, a number of other teams. East Lothian with Kirsty Hunter. Beside them is South Lanarkshire with Robin Patrick. And then in lane 7, Hearts with Hannah Suter. But still Western Bartonshire lead it, 1:43.34, up by about 1.3. Hearts have moved up nicely now into second, Warrender third, and West Lothian down to fourth. But this is a tight contest here. Remember, 4 junior teams as well, so a race within a race here. The Hearts swimmer, Hannah Suter, has put in a very nice breaststroke leg, and she has moved up now and is in the lead here. So it's Hearts now in lane 7. They've got the advantage by about a metre from Western Bartonshire and Warrender. Warrender moving through into second at the end of the breaststroke. Emma Chittleborough putting in a good leg there. So 2:25.11 there as we go to the third swimmer then. And for Hearts, that's the youngster Kiana McInnes. We talked about her earlier in the 100 fly. Warrender is Elizabeth Lim. Eve Thompson for Western Bartonshire. Just behind them, we've got lane 4, Meg Finnan for South Lanarkshire, Joanna Whitelaw for East Lothian, and for West Lothian, Ashley McAdam. In the lead, though, at the halfway through, and we've got a new leader, and it's Ren 96 now in lane 9, Marty High. But, well, I think that might be a bad touch that was given there, so let's just focus on the front there, and it is Warrender in the lead, just Warrender then in lane 5, South Lanarkshire just behind them, and then Hearts in third place now. So Elizabeth Lim has put a good fly set leg in for Warrender. She's now got about a metre half advantage. We've seen different leaders at each end of each stroke here. 3:32.99 for Warrender. The anchor swimmer for Warrender is Katie Stark, the freestyle sprint specialist, and I can't see her losing it here. Alongside her, Olivia Jackson of South Lanarkshire, Gulsum O'Neill for West Lothian, Mari Swanson for Hearts, and for East Lothian, Jennifer Henderson. But it's going to be Warrender surely now. They turn for home, 4:01.03. Let's check their lead there. It's second place, 4:03.83, so about 2.8 is the gap. So Warrender are going to take heat 2 here. Let's just see what their time is going to be. Katie Stark then, bringing them in. They're a junior team. They looked set to be junior champions here. So Katie Stark coming in for them. And in the end, about a 5 metre advantage for them, 4:33.33. Second place, lane 3, East Lothian, and third, South Lanarkshire, Olivia Jackson. Waiting to see if there's confirmation of that. I think there may be a DQ report to be processed here, and there is, and it is East Lothian, so that's lane 3 disqualification. So the final result then, first Warrender 4:33.33, second South Lanarkshire 4:36.72, and third West Lothian in 4:38.02. So on to heat 3 and our last race of the 2013 Scottish Gas National Championships, brought to you here by QuipuTV. So hope you can keep up with this. It's been breathless stuff. We've seen some terrific Edinburgh University relay swims from the ladies. Can they just cap it off? We'll be looking at the club record 4:15.74. So away we go, and the full lineup then is Mulgai and Bearsden with Julie Williams in 0, Stirling with Cara Smith in 1, Warrender with Kate Forbes in 2, City of Aberdeen with Emily Grant in 3, Sian Morgan leading off for Edinburgh University in 4, Chelsea Lawson for Carnegie in 5, Raquel Matos for East Lothian in 6, Abby Houston for De Vries in 7, Lauren Gilks, City of Glasgow in 8, and Sarah Hamilton for South Aberdeenshire in 9.
Well, Duncan, I think that Edinburgh University could well dominate this one after the breaststroke leg of Catherine Johnston coming up, but at the moment it looks like East Lothian with Raquel Matos and Carnegie and Chelsea Lawson, and then Emily Grant out there as well for Coast. So Edinburgh University in 4th place at the moment, but with a 68-point breaststroke coming in, I would expect University just to pull through at that point.
So Matos has mainly featured in butterfly in these championships, but showing she's no slouch on the backstroke as well, and she gives the East Lothian team the early lead, 105.74, about a second faster than the 100 split in heat 2. 4 teams in the mix then. Lane 3 is City of Aberdeen with Caitlin Tootle doing the breaststroke, Catherine Johnson for Edinburgh University, so expect her to make the move here. For Carnegie, it's Rachel O'Donnell and Tiffany Bachelet for East Lothian. So Edinburgh University then will be favourites to move through here in this breaststroke legs. Catherine Johnson, 2 golds and a silver in the breaststroke events in these championships. and she now has the lead for Edinburgh University, 1:39.22 from Carnegie second and City of Aberdeen third halfway through the breaststroke. Tiffany Bachelet trying to keep East Lothian in touch in this top four as well. But this is Edinburgh University now starting to extend this lead very nicely. It's about 3 metres now on Carnegie. Of course, Rachel O'Donnell, no breaststroke slouch herself, so she's doing well here to hold that gap to about 3 metres as they come to halfway. 2:16.82 as the third swimmers go, and it's Corrie Scott doing the butterfly for Edinburgh University. She's up against Tane Bruce for Carnegie. For City of Aberdeen, it's Rona Plowman, Rachel Sharples for East Lothian, and just behind them Camilla Hattersley for City of Glasgow. They're the top 5, but it looks like really 2 teams who are dominating here. Edinburgh University, and then about 3 metres back on them is Carnegie. Corrie Scott then against Tane Bruce, and Corrie now starting to stretch that lead out. Tane Bruce, of course, a great butterfly prospect, but Corrie has the experience, the age and the strength, and probably a bit of the conditioning as well on her side as they come in. But Tane Bruce, give her every credit here. She's sticking to the task, only about 4 metres back as they come towards the anchor swims. So it's going to be Hayley Monteith anchoring for University of Edinburgh. They have not brought in Caitlin McClatchy for this one. They're about 2 seconds the lead there. Tane Bruce hands over to Samantha Caulfield. I would think that will be the 1-2. East Lothian have moved back into third. Good fly leg from Rachel Sharples, and she hands over to Jill Clark ahead of Kirsty Ness for City of Aberdeen. So Edinburgh University then, they're going to take this one surely, assuming that there are no discrepancies as we saw earlier. We don't want that to happen again to Edinburgh University, surely. 3:47.60 against 3:50.50 then. And so Edinburgh University are going to bring these championships to a close with an emphatic girls medley relay victory. They're about 6 metres up now. Samantha Caulfield will bring Carnegie home to seconds, looking like East Lothian will take the bronze. They're going to be the 1-2-3. Edinburgh University coming in 4:18.29. Second place Carnegie, 4:21.88. And East Lothian, a comfortable third for them in 4:27.54. Good race for fourth there. Great finish from Rachel Masson to give that to South Aberdeenshire in lane 9. But the winners, Edinburgh University, 4:18.29. Just wait for that to be confirmed. The result there summarised. So 4:18.29 is Edinburgh University. Second Carnegie, 4:21.88. And third East Lothian, 4:27.54. So good race to finish off. Edinburgh University were expected to have won that, and they didn't disappoint.
Well, Duncan, that some excellent relay racing there, and a wee bit of controversy mixed in as well on the men's race. But a lovely way to finish this championships. It's absolutely delightful to see so many of the swimmers getting on board with the team ethic and swimming together and working for each other. I think that really can elevate performances, and I'm delighted to see so many teams taking part in this year's Scottish National Championships.
Yep, it has been a great championships. We've seen pretty much the strength of Scottish swimming. We've seen a reasonable number of good quality swimmers coming up from the south as well. I hope they've enjoyed swimming in this brand newly refurbished Tollcross International Swimming Centre. We hope the Scots have as well. So we will finish off proceedings with some presentations. And we start off with that with the women's 1500 freestyle. Seems quite a while ago that we swam that now, but we haven't done the presentations yet, so we'll do that right now, followed by the relays. We've then got a few special awards to present for top awards overall. So we move then to the presentation for the 1500 freestyle, and it is the aquatics manager of the Glasgow 2014. It is Helen Jenks. So bronze medalist then is Lucy Campbell of Windsor. Silver medalist Camilla Hattersley from City of Glasgow. And the gold medalist Aisha Thornton of Loughborough University. And a very good junior swim from Meg Finnan. So she is the junior champion. I think I've misidentified our presenter. That was in fact Carol Hughes, the cluster manager here at Tollcross. Apologies, Carol, if you watch this later on. Did get you right eventually. So we move then to the presentation for the men's medley relay. And they're just getting ready to be presented to now. And this one and it will be Helen making this presentation. So she's going to have plenty of work to do to present to these big boys. So the bronze medalist, City of Aberdeen. City of Aberdeen team receiving the medals there: Andrew McGovern, Mark Campbell, Ewan Dunbar and Stuart McIntosh. Silver medalist then, Warren de Bath. So a strong team: Craig McNally, Craig Benson, Sean Campsey and Simran Wilkes. And the gold medalists, City of Glasgow. Ross McCafferty, Jamie Graham, Daniel Scott and Robbie Rennick. So lots of handshakes all around here. As we move to the junior champions, and they are South Lanarkshire. Oh, lots of South Lanarkshire supported the gallery. That's good to see. Made the short trip across to Tollcross. Angus Barr, Andrew McFadden, Ross Leslie and Cameron Park. So big smiles from all concerned, big smiles in the gallery as they celebrate their team's success. And moving on then to the women's presentation now. And making this presentation is City of Glasgow performance coach and head coach for Team Scotland Aquatics team, Glasgow 2014, Graham Wardell. So a big job for Graham in the next year.
Yep, and Graham's already well involved with the planning going forward for next year. A lot of experience in there, and I think he'll make a great leader for the team here in Glasgow. Level-headed and very passionate about the team ethos and everybody working together to achieve the best moving forward. But clearly has made a big difference to Robbie Rennick and his performances as well. I've seen a lot of changes in Robbie in terms of him as a person, and also in terms of his swimming and developing his skills, and he's done a fantastic job there.
So he gave the bronze medals to East Lothian, Raquel Mattis, Tiffany Bachelet, Rachel Sharples and Gillian Clark, and now moving on to the silver medalists, and that's Carnegie, Chelsea Lawson, Rachel O'Donnell, Tane Bruce, and anchored by Samantha Caulfield. Rachel O'Donnell with a big broad smile on her face as she gets her silver medal. That's always good to see. Kisses and hugs all round with Tane. And the gold medalist going to Edinburgh University. Sian Morgan on the backstroke leg, Catherine Johnson on the breaststroke, Corrie Scott on the butterfly, and Hayley Monteith on the freestyle. And coming forward now are the junior champions, and they are the Warrender junior team. Good applause from the gallery for them as well. India Dodd, Emma Chittleborough, Elizabeth Lim, and Katie Stark, 4 15-year-olds winning the junior medals for that Warrender team. 4:33.33 for them. And Graham decides he wants to be in with the girls for the photographs, and why not?
Can't resist it, Graham. Getting his photograph taken, loves it.
So we have a couple of special presentations. First one of those is the Berger Paints Trophy, and that is given to the best overall performance based on FINA points. So we're just waiting, I think, to award that. Sheena Logan, the president of the Scottish Amateur Swimming Association, has done a terrific job in shepherding all our VIPs through the week and our presentations. So still waiting for that. After this, of course, we will be announcing the winners of the top club. I suspect there's some feverish work going on at the moment on the calculations of that. I can see Paul Wilson down below us with a big spreadsheet open, and Beaver in a way is just going to make sure that he's got it absolutely right. Robbie Rennick just chatting to those, but the overall Berger Paints Trophy goes to swimmer in her performance in the 400 metres individual medley, and that was 864 points. Hannah Miley of Geary, and
that looks like Alistair Miley picking it up on her behalf.
So brother Alistair will no doubt promise to deliver that safely to big sister. One more piece of business to go. So just waiting for that. So just as we wait for the top club points to be finally worked out, your overall impressions of the meet, Ali?
Well, it's been a fantastic 4 days of racing and very enjoyable to watch, and I hope anybody who's been watching on the live stream or here actually in the International Centre, I hope they've really enjoyed the swimmers and the show that they've put on. I think in terms of preparation for the World Championships, the World Championship trials rather, I think that's a different matter, a very different preparation for each of the individuals. Some have picked to swim specific events, some others, but 2 weeks out it's very important that coaches and swimmers have the ability to follow their individual plans and what they need to do in their preparation. So it's great to have so many of them here racing and putting in some performances. But I think overall it's been good to see some of the youngsters getting in there and picking up some of the medals also. I think the National Championships here in Scotland is one of those opportunities where the youth swimmers and the age group swimmers can challenge the older swimmers, especially when their route to preparation is very different. So I hope everybody's enjoyed it. It seems that the coaches and swimmers have done so, and we look forward to Sheffield in a couple of weeks' time.
And of course, in terms of this facility here at Tollcross International Swimming Centre, they've got a busy 12 months ahead of them, and so this, I suppose, a little bit of a test event with the big ones coming up next year with the Scottish Trials. Who knows whether there'll be other events here, but obviously, of course, the big one in the summer, Commonwealth Games. And so I think we've probably got some work to do to just smooth out a few wrinkles, would you say? But a great facility and a good pool for swimming.
I think the pool is never in doubt. We've known that for years. It's a fantastic pool. And I think now with a 6-lane long course swim down facility through the other side, I think that's a tremendous build. But all I can say is that the coaches' feedback so far is that the extra space, the capacity for spectators and room for athletes and coaches to operate in is absolutely tremendous. And I think once there's one or two of the snagging issues sorted, I think and the extra stands being put in place, I think we can only look forward to such excitement and atmosphere here in Glasgow at the Commonwealth Games, and I think Glasgow and Scotland will create the atmosphere that the swimmers and the athletes actually deserve.
Yep, this place could rock and roll next summer. We saw that at the Olympic Aquatic Centre down in London last year, both for the Olympics and the Paralympics. So I'm sure we'll see very much the same atmosphere created here. Glaswegians are not renowned for being backwards.
Absolutely not. Very, very, very friendly people here in Glasgow, always very welcoming. We find that whenever we come to Tollcross, certainly with the staff that were within the pool and with any of the accommodation that we're staying in, it's absolutely tremendous, well received, and I hope that anybody that is coming to Glasgow for the Commonwealth Games, if you're thinking about it, make sure you try and get your tickets when the time comes, because you'll absolutely love the opportunity. I absolutely love it if you do manage to come here to Glasgow into the International Centre. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
So we now have the top points result has been given. So as we look over the still waters, the swimming is done, and just running through the top 6 in reverse order, we had 477 points. University of Stirling was 6th. 5th place, 514.5 points were City of Aberdeen. In 4th with 554 points, Carnegie. 3rd with 641 points, City of Glasgow. Just nicking ahead of them, 662 points. Great performance from Warren de Bath, 2nd. But the top club, Edinburgh University, 910 points. So a very emphatic win there for Chris Jones's squad.
And that's a tremendous performance by the University of Edinburgh, a very strong team. They are headed up by Chris Jones, and let's not forget his assistant coach Mark Jaggs as well, who plays a massive role in that, very well deserved.
And here come a good contingent of that team up around the podium area. Must be what, about 20 of them up there, and a number of those star performers. Certainly lots of them in there as you look through the medalists. Catherine Johnson, of course, in the breaststroke we saw going well. Kieran McGuckin in the 50 sprint, and He's been going well consistently as well. Nicholas Quinn won the 200 breaststroke. Of course, their relay team's very dominant, notwithstanding that disqualification earlier, particularly the women. 3 wins out of 3 for the women's relay team, pretty much untouchable. So they can be pretty happy with the depth that they have built up, not just the wonderful individuals. And a squad really that didn't exist 5 years ago, so very impressive performance from Chris Jones. So that just about wraps us up then for the year. It's been great here to have the opportunity to contribute to this transmission along with Ali White today. I'd like to thank Scottish Gas for their support that made this possible, Glasgow Life and all the other partners, the Scottish Swimming marketing team as well, who behind the scenes have made all this possible. Gary Bruce and his staff here at Tollcross, the production team at Quipu. So this has been a QuipuTV production for Scottish Swimming. So from myself, Duncan McKinnell, from Ali White, everyone here at the Tollcross International Swimming Centre, I wish you from the 2013 Scottish National Championships a very good evening.
The British Gas Swim Britain Challenge is a great way to get the whole nation involved, be more healthy, be more active.
It's a giant relay race. We need teams of 4, so hopefully lots of people can get involved. Swim Britain are providing training sessions. This will encourage people to see the benefits of improvements.
Swim Britain will really help me break away from my busy schedule, just get away from everything.
That element of teamwork and training and a group is great fun. You know, anyone can swim no matter what your kind of fitness or sport and background.
That's what's brilliant about this, is that it is a team event. It just makes it so much more fun. You can all cheer each other, support each other on.
I want to take part in Swim Britain because I want to get fitter, lose some weight and make a permanent change to my exercise routine.
So make sure you sign up to this amazing challenge. You never know, I could be on your team.
Take a drink at the ocean and treading water there before I drown. Let's dive, I wanna dive to the bottom of the ocean. I took a ride, I wouldn't go there without you. Let's take a ride, we'll take a ride, I wouldn't leave here without you. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. I am a mountain, I am the sea. You can't take that away from me. 'Cause you tear us apart with all the things you don't like. You can't understand that I won't leave till we're finished here.
I'm Catherine Granger and I'm a champion in my life, and I back the bid for Glasgow to host the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
Hi, I'm Robbie Rennick. I'm Commonwealth champion. I'm supporting Glasgow's bid for the 2018 Youth Olympic Games.
I'm Michael Jameson, I'm a champion in my life and I support Glasgow's bid to host the Youth Olympic Games in 2018.
Hi, I'm Neil Facky, I'm a Paralympic champion and you know, I'm a champion in my life and I'm backing Glasgow 2018.
Hi, I'm Chris Hoy and I'm a champion in my lifetime and I'm supporting the Glasgow 2018 Youth Olympic bid.
I am the sea.